guards 5 years to, search his laptop, an investigation. They have to send them off to England or whatever they have to send them to get them investigated, the Computer Crime Investigation Unit. But it took 5 years, and that was his argument in court today. Like, why did it take so long? And not only that, he admitted it. He said, listen, you don't have to send the laptop off. There it is anyway. You can keep it. I'll plead guilty. There is child porn images on it. Now, he got a 2.5-year sentence, which was suspended by the judge because the judge said it wasn't the worst case he's ever seen. And some people online are saying, well, look, he's gone through 5 or 6 years of misery, of course, waiting for this to go up. It is child porn. It's not child abuse. Should he have gone to jail? A lot of people are saying they've no sympathy anyway, either way. But look, shall we get around to talking about that later on? But first, I want to talk about, we didn't get really much of a chance to talk about it today, only 10 minutes. And it's actually happened today, as you know, Brexit. 9 months after the EU referendum dubbed Brexit, Theresa May signed the documents and formally triggered Article 50, which will take the UK out of the EU. They're not officially out of the EU yet, but they must be out of the EU within 2 years. They're technically out of the EU for all intents and purposes. In other words, there is now going to be a situation where slowly but surely steps will be taken to bring Britain out of the EU for trade deals. Freedom of movement will be probably the first thing to be tackled. Border checkpoints, visa, citizenship, all that kind of stuff. There's so much to be done. I believe they have thousands of barristers and solicitors working on legislation, because currently we all in the EU operate under EU directives and EU law, and then we put it into our own legislation. For example, our legislation here in Ireland can't contravene EU directives and EU legislation, so it has to match. But now the UK can have their own legislation. They don't need the EU anymore. To add pressure to this monumentous occasion, the Scottish Parliament last night voted to have a second referendum on their independence, which was driven by their desire to remain in the EU, allegedly, unlike England and Westminster. But I don't believe the Scottish will leave Britain. I think the Scottish people will want to leave the EU as well. I wouldn't be as confident as Nicola Sturgeon is. Also, social media was last night dominated by blacked out pictures of the EU flag missing a star to highlight the feelings of millions of British voters who still believe that the UK should remain in the European Union. Now, both sides believe that they should. They are still right. Leave saying that the UK can now control their borders, immigration and economic policies. The Remain side will say that the UK will now find it almost impossible to deal against the economic strength of the huge market like the EU, that they are now on the outside looking in, I suppose, essentially. Enda Kenny and the Irish government will respond to that, obviously, to what happened, and I think they did today, and they expect the international markets to go crazy with potentially billions being wiped off the stock exchange immediately. I don't know, will it be the panic, or will there be a rebound in relation to this? Brexit has and will dominate Irish news now for the next few months and years to come. And we are seeing, I suppose, a trend from many people asking if Ireland should be looked at, should we look at our own membership of the EU? I don't know what we would do ourselves. Now, earlier on, I asked the question, should Ireland leave the European Union? And I don't know whether you think about it. You have to think about these things logically, right? And I know the one thing that would make some people say yes is the freedom of movement. We don't want to see more people coming into this country from EU and non-EU countries. And that would stop if we left the EU, because we did vote to join the European Union twice, actually. We voted. So that would stop. That would be the one thing that would make people vote to leave the EU. There's other reasons we should stay in the EU, because look, when we've been down on the deal and we're stuck for money, we do get money off the European Union. Most of our main roads, our motorways, were built by money that we got from the European Union. Now, don't get me wrong, we pay them back tenfold. We absolutely have. But I don't know whether you would like Ireland to move out of the EU. We'd lose a lot of trade deals. As it is, this Brexit, and look, I'm not going to claim to be an expert. I'm not an economist. But it's pretty obvious it's going to have a very damaging effect on Ireland. Ireland has actually been placed in a category of the strong negative impact, both in the short term this year and the longer term over the next 4 or 5 years. There will be a huge negative impact on this country. Now, January before last, Taoiseach Enda Kenny said the border controls between Ireland and Northern Ireland could be brought back into effect if the UK votes to leave the EU, which they did. In other words, they will be brought back. I don't think there's any deal that could be done to stop the customs standing back up there again before you come into Newry. That's going to happen. We're also going to have to produce passports to get into Northern Ireland. That's going to happen as well. Because realistically, if Britain are blocking freedom of movement into Great Britain, you can't have Polish and Russians and Polish and European citizens coming into Ireland and then sauntering on into the UK. That's not going to be allowed to happen. So there will have to be a border. There is no way they can go without a border. It just won't work. There's a huge worry that we will lose billions in trade deals. We absolutely will, of course. Ireland will become the only English native-speaking member of the state, which could be an advantage to us, but this could make Ireland more attractive, say, for foreign direct investment. However, as a non-EU member, the UK would not have to abide by the same trade rules as Ireland, so that could put them at an advantage too. So I can't see a huge advantage in this to Ireland. It's only negative, really. So should we leave the European Union? So let's do a little vote on it. We did a vote, but our daytime audience are very different to our nighttime audience. I think they're a bit more liberal, the daytime audience, I would imagine. So I'm going to just throw it open to a vote, okay? Knowing what you know about Brexit and the main reasons in Britain, I suppose Nigel Farage and UKIP were responsible for the Brexit, knowing what you know about it, do you believe Ireland should leave the European Union? Would it benefit us to leave the European Union? Okay, so I want everybody to vote. Text, yes, you believe we should. So you're standing there in a polling station. You've just been handed a slip of paper. The question is quite simple. Should Ireland leave the EU? Yes or no? Simple question. So yes, you believe we should, or no, you believe we should stay. We're safer in the European Union. Now again, I don't know how long the European Union is going to last. We could only get another 10 years out of it anyway. It looks like a bit of a failed concept either way. But let's say it lasts. Should we stay in it? Yes, we should. Or no, we shouldn't. Text 53544. Somebody says, what about the currency now? Well, it does look like the value of obviously sterling is falling rapidly. And I imagine probably within the next 2 years before the Brexit actually finalises, I would imagine sterling and euro will be pretty much the same value, the way things are dropping at the moment. Text 53544. Should Ireland leave the European Union? Derek, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, Derek?
How's it going now?
Should we, as the Clash would say, should we stay or should we go now?
We should have gone years ago now.
Well, we should probably never have voted to go into it in the first place. Probably that.
Well, that was it. But is there anyone in this country that has any faith in Enda Kenny and the rest of the clowns in this government doing anything for us in Europe? Yeah. Do you think they will negotiate a good deal for the people of this country? And they won't. You know, we had the same back with the bank bailouts, and they were going to go to Europe, and they were going to demand debt right down. And it eventually turned out that they didn't bother their asses. So they aren't going to do anything for us in Europe. They will look after themselves. Now, our biggest trading partner in Europe is the UK.
Yeah.
Our future lies with the UK, whether people like it or not.
Well, then the only way out of that will be to join the Commonwealth.
We don't have to join the Commonwealth.
Well, I think so. No, if you're talking about trade deals and the financial aspect of it, the only way to do that would be to join them, and the only way to do that would be part of the Commonwealth. Because otherwise, if you're saying we should be independent and they should be independent, well, then we still have a problem with difference in currencies. We still have a problem with taxes. We still have a problem with trade deals. So it makes no difference.
No, we manage fine without the euro. Now, the euro itself is a failed concept anyway. The euro is going to fail.
Well,
anyway.
If we left Europe, we'd have to get rid of the euro anyway, yeah.
Well, the euro is not going to last. It was never set up to last because the euro can only survive in a federal Europe, which is never going to happen.
So what? Should we move back to the punt or a pound sterling?
We should never join the euro now. And that has been the biggest problem for this country ever since the bank bailouts.
Well, then we'd have to have a currency that is of equivalent value to the UK if we're to continue trading with them properly. Otherwise we'd lose a fortune in exports.
The pound was originally linked to sterling anyway.
It was always worth a little bit less, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it managed just fine for people with exports because in the last number of months, exports have dropped now because they can no longer sustain the cost of exporting to England, and it's having a drastic effect on companies here that export to the UK.
But you could also say the upside to that is we're importing more. We can afford to drop, we're not, the retailers are not really passing it on to the customers, but the retailers are making a bit more money because they're getting stuff in cheaper now.
Well, see, the problem with this country is the true figures are distorted because they keep going on by GDP figures, which is mixed up because of the multinationals and tax avoidance. Where you go through the GNP figures, things are totally different in this country.
Okay, so is there any benefits to staying in the European Union for Ireland?
Well, people keep saying, the EU give us this, the EU pay for this road and that road. We pay into a fund.
Oh, no, I did say that we pay them back tenfold. Okay,
now,
yeah.
never mind that. When you go to what we surrendered when joining the EU, in the beginning, where was originally the EEC, was a good concept. But what it has become under the EU, where we are being ruled by unelected bureaucrats, it has no benefit to this country. You look to the west of Ireland, our fishing stocks, we have given away billions worth of fish and has destroyed our own fishing economy down the west. We can't even fish in our own seas.
Our farming has been affected badly by it as well.
Everything. It has no beneficial effect.
Well, I won't say it has no beneficial effect. I think that's wrong.
When you look at, we have given away more than what we've received, so it has had no real benefit to us.
Some people might turn around and say the freedom of movement has been a benefit to us. Some won't say that, but some say it has.
It's not a case that you go somewhere now, you're not going to get in. It just goes back to the normal. You have to spend probably a half an hour to an hour at a bleeding passport check-in.
Well, if you're coming from a non-EU, well, no, it won't be non-EU. If you're coming from any country, you're going to have a visa if you want to work here.
Yeah.
Well, currently at the moment we have a huge foreign workforce.
Before all this, we managed just fine doing all this, applying for visas.
But hang on, we wouldn't have. If you go back to 2005, well, between 1998 and 2005, when we had massive construction in this country, we didn't have enough workers. So we valued the EU and the fact there was freedom of movement to work in this country and European Union. So we did value that.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do with all those people? You can't kick them all out again.
Well, I'm sure politicians are going to come up with something. They're not going to just suddenly open the door and say, right, everyone, fuck off, get out. There's going to be rules created. They will create to be no influx then.
Okay, so there'll be an amnesty of some description. Yeah.
Well, we don't know, but at the end of the day, you couldn't have any faith in the likes of Enda Kenny, so they can't even sort their own internal problems out in this country.
Okay, well, do me a favour, stay there for a second, because I want to bring Des and Joe in as well. Keep texting 53544. So far, our vote, okay? I'll let you know how it's going. Now, see, it's a bit more balanced at night than it is during the day, surprisingly enough. 62% of people say they would like to leave. The rest of you saying they'd like to stay. Keep texting 53544. The question is, do you think Ireland should leave the EU? Yes, you believe we should, or no, you believe we shouldn't. It's literally, you wouldn't call it a Brexit. It's an exit. Des, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, Des?
Hey, Niall, how are you keeping?
Good, Des. You believe we should stay?
Yeah, I think we should.
And for what reason?
Well, give us a good reason why we should leave.
Well, that's not the question I asked you.
I know that.
I can give you a million reasons why we should leave, but
but it's very positive that we're in part of the EU, and we've had a lot of help from them over the years.
Mm-hmm. In what respect?
England are a much bigger country, so they have a better chance of surviving leaving Brexit. I don't think we're
See, I don't know about that argument. When you say you've got a population of 60 million people, whatever it is in England, right? And okay, there's more money coming into revenue, but they've also got more outgoing. So realistically, it's exactly the same. Ireland probably has a better chance, to be honest with you.
I think we might have a lot more to lose if we were to leave than England.
As part of the EU, we had to pay 42% of the European banking debt, so they didn't extend too much solidarity to us. They crippled this nation. This nation is crippled because we were sacrificed to save the European banks. And that is the only reason this country is suffering right now. We sacrificed this country to save the European banking project.
Yeah, but we made a lot of mistakes ourselves in banking.
Never mind the mistakes. The majority of loans that we paid back, we were forced to pay back through this bank bailout, was to save French and German and English banks. And that's the real crux of it.
Well, that's what we signed up to.
42%. We didn't sign up to bail out banks.
Well, we did it over here. We didn't sign up to it. We had to do it.
We did not have to do it.
Right, we don't know what was going to happen if we didn't bail out the banks, right? So that's another argument.
Look what happened. The people of this country were forced to suffer. Now, the European...
Do you think we would have all the road structures that we'd have now if we didn't...
The European Union...
Yeah, I mean, Des, I know this is the argument all the time that, of course, Europe, paid for a lot of the infrastructure in this country, and yes, we probably got it done a bit quicker than we might have got it done if we didn't have that money. But in saying that, our country was growing anyway. We weren't really living in a time where we had the old Byrons or we all went sitting at the crossroads. So it was getting better anyway, and I think we certainly would have modernised either way and become more metropolitan.
But we were growing falsely when you think about it now.
No, when we joined the European Union, we were, yeah. But yeah. I'm suggesting that if hypothetically we didn't join the European Union, we probably wouldn't have had the massive collapse that we had in 2009. We probably would have still had most of those roads and most of that infrastructure because we would have been making money other ways. As Derek rightly pointed out, we lost our fisheries, we lost some of our natural reserves, to Europe.
I would just be concerned what we would lose. I would be very concerned what we would lose if we were to leave.
That is a concern. I'm not saying it's not a concern, and it is. Nobody really knows that it happens.
I don't think the risk. I think it'd be too great a risk to leave now. You'd have to. I think we should, sit tight, wait and see what happens with England, how they get on. I just think we're too small of a nation to go it alone. We couldn't go it alone, definitely not.
No, to go back to the European banking collapse, if we weren't a part of Europe or the euro, we could have devalued our currency. We could have changed things. We had our own. We weren't tied to the ECB, and we could have done things our own way. We could have devalued currency and everything, and we could have saved this country, and we could have saved many people a lot of hardship and misery. We could have stopped thousands of families being destroyed where people were forced to emigrate out of this country. But no, we remained as the lapdogs of Europe who didn't give a shite about the suffering that went on in this country. They just wanted to ensure that the French and German banks were saved. Now, the EEC was supposed to be about the people. The EU is a cabal of unelected suits from banks. We do not have a say. It's not democratic. No, they keep saying we have these elected commissioners who have no bloody say in anything. Because if anyone watched Ming Flanagan in Europe, and you'll see exactly what we're up against there. And we're wasting our time with Europe. It's not about people. It's about money and banks.
Okay, well, stay there a second. Let me just go to Joe. Joe, you're on Classic Hits.
No,
it's my friend Joe. Jesus, Joe, how are you doing from Limerick? Okay, Joe, it is the burning question today. Everybody's watching Britain in this historic occasion, although the sky didn't fall in today or anything like that. It's going to take 2 years before the sky falls in at least. So, Joe, do you think it's going to be a benefit to them, and will it be a huge benefit if we did the same thing?
It would not, I reckon, because...
Are you on a speaker, Joe? Are you holding your phone?
Hang on.
Pick it up, Joe, pick it up.
How's that?
Okay, it's a bit better. Go on.
All right. Look, Donald Trump recently, in reference to the EU, said America will be dealing with individual countries.
Mm-hmm. Are you there, Joe?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. America will be dealing with individual countries. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, America are going to be dealing with individual countries. They don't want to deal with some unelected bloc. I think a lot of other places in the world would probably, prefer to deal with individual countries as well. This old crap about the roads and all this bullshit. Look, we got main roads. If you drive the country roads, they're still in shit. I drove around town today in West Limerick. I won't say where, but, right, this is a fact. The DVD in the car, forget it. I just had to pull it out. Or the CD, sorry.
Yeah.
Because roads were so bloody bad that, it was jumping all the time. And
well, they're rural roads, yeah.
Well, still around now. Rural roads still matter.
I know. You go anywhere in any part of the world, and you go to rural roads, and they're going to be bad. You can't maintain every single road in the country constantly all the time.
No,
can I come in there?
Yes. Well, hang on. Sorry, Des. What do you want to say?
You have to ask him that same question, right? And it's the first thing he's after coming out and saying, well, we have America to deal with because America said they're going to deal with countries individually.
Yeah.
So we're going to change and we're going to leave Europe and then hope that America are going to look after us.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
That's going back to the same thing. We're too small a country to go on our own. So why break something now?
Listen, we are on our own. Forget this crap about we're under someone's wing. We're not. You saw that with
I don't buy that one.
Well, no, come here. What did they do for us during the banking crisis? Nothing, right? They raped, this is a fact. Our fishing territories, right, are being raped. We're being screwed ecologically. There's massive overfishing. The fish stocks are going down. Species are being wiped out. Right? That's my consideration.
At the end of the day, our country was booming, and our bankers took advantage of that. Okay.
Joe, hang on for a second, Des. Joe, I don't know what it is about your phone, but when you talk over somebody else, we can't understand a word you're saying. All we hear is you shouting. So I don't know whether you have a speakerphone and you don't actually have it up to your head or something like that. I don't know what happens, but it only happens, unfortunately, with your phone. And I don't want to miss what you're saying, Joe, because it's important, because I know you're an intelligent guy. So I don't want to miss. Yeah, sorry?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. It's just when somebody else is talking, I can't. All I can hear is noise. Okay, so, sorry, Jess, finish the point you want to make, and I'll let Joe respond to it. Go on.
I'm just saying that I don't think we should fix something now that's okay. You might say it's not broken; it is slightly broken, but I don't think the risk is too great to leave it now, just because England have decided to leave it. You see, Scotland want to have another referendum. We should just sit tight, and I don't believe this about thinking that the grass is greener over on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean when it comes to America, because you couldn't trust Donald Trump as far as you could throw him. So I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that one. That I just think we're too small a country, and I think we're in this now, and I think we should just go through it until. And then the Kenny is not going to be around by next year anyway, so he's out of the equation with the last caller. But I just think we should sit tight and see where it takes us for the time being, and don't make any rash decisions, because we're just not going to be able for it.
Would you have sat tight in the Titanic as it was going down? Would you?
Would I what?
Would you have sat tight on the Titanic as it was going down? Because basically, my friend, we have a failed, right? We have a failed experiment. We're on a boat that's heading towards the rapids. Now, you either jump off, go to shore, or you go down with it. Which would you prefer? Because this whole project is going down. The Dutch want to pull out, you know that. If Marine Le Pen gets elected in France, they'll definitely want to pull out. The countries in the Mediterranean are broke. Italy wants to pull out. Greece is a basket case. Spain is the same. The unemployment in Spain has never been as high in the last 10 years. Look, in other words, Spain was probably better off under Franco, believe it or not, right, than it was under the EU, because it just broke them. The currency does not suit everyone, each individual nation. It's not a suitable currency. Each individual nation has their own culture of commerce, their own industries, the whole lot.
Well, the only thing it does suit is tourism, by the way.
Yeah, well, Niall, come here. You say it suits tourism, right? I consider a country's earnings, you know what I mean, a lot more important than basically the decision of whether you have to change your money going from one country to another. This thing about, like the last chat there was under some illusion that the EU can somehow save us from ruin. It's the EU that has ruined us. It's the EU that has ruined the Mediterranean countries. It's a bloody disaster, and they still won't stop. Like, these are the same people that run the EU now, right? That wanted years for Turkey to join the European Union. Now, can you imagine, right? Basically, Turkey having a say.
Well, not in its current climate, no. Yeah.
No, not in any climate. You can forget it.
Sorry, Niall, I have to go.
Okay, no problem, Des. But do me a favour, stay there, Joe and Derek, because I want to bring in somebody on the other side of it. David, you're on Classic Hits. David, how you doing? Oh, sorry, David, did I not put you on there? Hold on, I just put your line on. Sorry, David, go ahead.
Sure, thanks. I just think I've been listening to everyone there, and I just I've even followed them the last couple of days, and I just think your last caller decided we should just sit back and just wait to see what happens. I think I think that's probably the best approach, because if we say, for argument's sake, we vote next year, say, to leave the EU, I just think it would be a financial disaster. We wouldn't survive. The only way we could survive if we leave the EU is if we're actually drawing back in the Commonwealth. That's the only way we could actually survive. We couldn't survive on our own outside the EU. I know the EU is not the best. It's not the best run. I can understand that. Yeah, but financially, we need the EU financially. If we didn't have the EU financially, we would still be in a serious deep recession right now. We'd be still back in 2008 where the banks crashed.
Yeah,
we wouldn't survive without the EU.
Well, sorry, Derek. Okay, well, Derek, you want to say something to him? Go ahead.
Right. People keep saying we won't survive financially.
We won't.
The markets dictate everything, and whether we are part of the EU or not part of the EU, these markets will still lend because we have an abundance of natural resources in this country. So the money will still be flooding into the country because we have what they need.
I agree with you. No, I absolutely agree with what you're saying.
We're saying sitting down and see how things go. As I said, the EU was built to fail. It's going to fail. And if we stay on board and wait till it fails, we are the ones that come off worse out of this because then there is no one there to help us because we, as a nation, will be obliterated by going down with the EU. So we need to jump off the ship along with the UK. And we're talking about trade deals. We can do our own trade deals with any nation in the world. There is nothing to stop us because just because we left the EU, these countries aren't going to decide, hey, we don't want beef from Ireland, we don't want milk. They will still want produce because they need it.
Listen, I agree with your one thing. We said we do have a natural resource, we do have everything, we do have resources that would bring in money. I agree with you at that point. What I don't agree with you is that we can actually sustain from that. We can't. We don't have enough resources to sustain a country. We don't have enough.
I don't think you understand the resources that we have.
I do understand the resources we have. I know the resources we have. Hold on, let me finish. We do have resources that do bring in some country. I am aware of that. What I'm also aware is that resources that come in this country is not enough for us to survive on our own outside the EU. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Okay, well, hang on. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
So if that's his criteria, right, how long do you think mainland Europe is going to fund a failed state? Surely the taxpayer of the various countries are going to basically get sick of that, aren't they? And this whole rubbish now, this is my point is also related to this whole shit about where will Britain go from now. Now, Britain rule half the world, for Christ's sake. They're not idiots. They know what they're doing. Look, for a lot of its history, basically, Britain has been a war with mainland bloody Europe. You know what I mean? There was 40 years of peace, and basically, from the years that Britain has been in it, right, the Europeans keep this crap going that, because the EU countries aren't going to war with each other. Didn't they ever hear of enlightenment?
Sorry, go ahead, David, if you wanted to respond to that.
I'll tell you, all I can say is the English people voted for it because I think it was a very scaremongering tactic. I don't think they understand the full complications of actually leaving the EU. So to say that the English people really 100% want to leave it, I don't believe that for a second. I think they were scared into it. Sure.
Well, it's democracy, and this is how democracy works. To suggest for a minute, this is like the people who suggest that Donald Trump shouldn't be the president of America. Of course he should, because that's what the people wanted.
Exactly.
It's the same way that I don't believe that when the Scottish had a referendum to leave the UK, I don't believe it was a genuine result because I think the people over in Scotland were scared. They were scared. The English government, based David Cameron, basically saying if Scotland, we're going to have border controls, we're going to have this, that, and the other. He scared the Scottish people into voting no.
But I mean, David Cameron did exactly the same thing during Brexit. It was too late. By the time he decided to listen to Nigel Farage and listen to the people of the country, it was too late. He did actually, towards the end, getting close to Brexit, suggest that he might try to get some sort of deal off the EU in relation to freedom of movement. But it was too late. The people had already gone against him. They're not. See, the problem is in all these countries, and Joe mentioned the countries earlier on, Italy and a few other countries, there are elections coming up soon, and you see the left moving away and the right moving in. In all these countries, the problem is the current governments are not listening to the people, and the same thing is happening in this country right now. You've got Fine Gael in there, in power. You've got all the lefties, these independents, shouting and roaring in the Dáil during the day about the let them all in brigade, and they're not listening to the people. That's the problem.
Can you see that actually causing civil conflict at some stage in the future? Because I'll tell you one thing, right? The crap that's going on in Sweden at the moment, right? They're basically being overrun by a bunch of third world illiterates because the Swedish government, and these, I'm not kidding you, right? This is why I do not want Ireland to be part, right, of anything outside the UK, and definitely not part of anything in Europe. If you look at the political cultures of some of these countries that are actually making decisions on our immigration policies and our foreign policies, I think it's fucking frightening. You had that dough-faced old bitch from Germany, right? Sent these millions of people who she didn't know. Come on in. You know, the taxpayers of Europe will pay for you. Hang on, the taxpayers of Europe weren't fucking asked, were they?
Okay, well, stay there a second. Let me go to Michael. And in fairness, David, the biggest bone of contention in relation to Brexit, in relation to Trump, in relation to all the right-wing parties that are doing so well at the moment, is freedom of movement. Let me go to Michael. Michael, you're on Classic Hits. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, yeah, the line is a wee bit bad. I don't think there's any support in Ireland. Anyways, 86% people, the Irish Times last year said they wanted to stay, and 4 out of 10 people. Yeah, well, May 2016, Irish Times poll, I checked it up this evening, it says 86%
of Irish people.
Irish people across all social classes, across all age groups, across all regions, and 4 out of 10 people said it was a bad idea for Great Britain to withdraw from the European Union. I think Joe and Derek and...
Well, I don't know about that. I did see a poll in the Journal not so long ago, which would be kind of, I suppose, younger people to some extent as well. Well, they'd be kind of all age, all demographic, and it didn't reflect those figures you're talking about, Michael.
Well, these are independent polling companies.
Yeah, you're okay. I don't. Who did that? Millwood, Brown, Lansdowne. Who did that? You don't know. Red Sea.
MRBI was it?
MRBI. Okay.
The American Democrat Party.
Yeah. Look, listen to Joe and he's crap and he's conflating everything. He's look. The people in England in the working class areas, like the coal mine areas that are closed up and the steel mine areas that are closed up, they listen to all the stuff that the Polish people were there for their problems for unemployment, taking their jobs to the people. Even the English Chancellor, the Exchequer, still says they need large amounts of immigrants to do all the menial jobs. He still says that because English people don't want to do all the menial jobs.
You can go to right, not the UK, and find a hell of a lot of fucking unemployment. I remember, right, when I lived down in the boom of the late 80s, early 90s, right, you had people coming down from the Tyneside, you had people coming down from all over England to work in the south. So this old shit about basically they were getting people to do the jobs that slaves wouldn't do. Look, that old rhetoric is bullshit, basically, you know. And Johnny Rotten, actually, of the Sex Pistols, here's a good one for you, pal. You can check this up in the Drudge Report, right? Johnny Rotten actually came out and said he was delighted at Brexit and he was delighted that Trump won. And this
look, there's only a tiny minority of xenophobes and racists are all excited about Brexit. And the
would you stop? So what? Just because you voted for Donald Trump or Brexit, you have to be a xenophobe or a racist?
No, I mean, people, no. The people that come on your channel are really excited. The minority of people in this country on the Brexit are just deluded.
Okay, well, when you say the people on my channel, okay, well, hang on, Joe. Okay, so let me defend my channel for a second, my radio station here, okay? Okay, so we've got a demograph of male and female. Nighttime would be more male, daytime is more female, right? But nighttime would probably be 60% male, right? Demograph, probably 30 to 65 years of age. Are you telling me the majority of those people who are texting in with their yeses are all xenophobes and racists?
Why do they think Brexit is such a great thing? They say all the immigrants, all the Polish.
Well, because maybe they're tired of the freedom of movement. People love culture. I don't believe people have a huge problem with multiculturalism to an extent. I do believe sometimes it's a failed concept in a lot of countries. But I do believe that people are seeing too much of it. And they're seeing the indigenous population not getting their rights the way they should. They're also seeing what some people believe is population replacement.
Yeah.
Poland, is it? Is it Poland or Lithuania?
No, but it doesn't matter where people are coming from. They're seeing a population replacement and they want to save their heritage, they want to save their sovereignty, they want to save their culture, and they're seeing this replacement and maybe they're not just happy about it. Is that racism, Michael?
I don't think there's any move in this country that wanted it. Anyway, I don't think the people in England think Polish people are any different culture than them anyway. They didn't say that. They're taking our jobs.
Actually.
They're doing the jobs they don't want them to do because loads of people in England don't want meat factories or all these union jobs.
Have you ever heard of wage depression where you bring in an outside force to do the work for less than the native force? Because basically that is what is happening. The French hate the Polish, let me tell you. You know what I mean? As probably the next country to lead well, I'd say.
Polish people working in French coal mines in the Polish immigrants working on France in the 1920s after World War I, World War II, and half the population killed. They've loads of Polish people in France in the 1920s working coal mine regions.
Okay, well, hang on. We're going slightly off the subject in some sense. But, Michael, the majority of people voted for Brexit, voted for Trump, and we're seeing these right-wing parties doing well around Europe at the moment for one reason and one reason only, and that's freedom of movement. And just because people are concerned about freedom of movement, I don't believe that automatically makes people xenophobic and racist.
I don't think the movement is the main thing in the continent. It's not a movement.
Stop.
The National Front is the Muslims, blame Muslims. The same thing is like in England or America. Le Pen is saying all the white French people in the coal mine areas that are unemployed for 40 years, all the Muslims are blamed for all your problems. Vote for me and I'll solve everything. That's far from mantra, is it?
Terrorism, pal. For Nice and for Paris, yes, the Muslims are being blamed. For a lot of the crime, they are being blamed. You know why? Because they're guilty of it. As simple as that.
She's not going to be a saviour for him, is she? I don't think Brexit is going to be a saviour for all the people in the Welsh Valley employed for 30 years, are they? Margaret Thatcher closed all the coal mines.
Well, I'm not going to get into the whole Margaret Thatcher argument. I was talking to Helena about this earlier on. We were talking about the coal mines because Helena obviously wasn't born at the time when Arthur Scargill was running around in the coal mines. But in saying that, if you look into the bigger picture in relation to the coal mines, how long more do you think Britain could have sustained that situation where they were?
I know, but
where they were subsidising expensive coal? How long more could they have done that for? Margaret Thatcher didn't have a choice. Okay, it was very badly handled. We have the exact same situation going on right now in this country. Right now, in relation to bus Éireann and our transport system in this country. We have a transport system that's slowly being eroded by private operators, and that's just competition. That's the way it works. The same way as we had on PUS lose a lot of staff many years ago because people started using emails. Times change. And unfortunately, bus Éireann at the moment is not solvent, and it needs to be. Shane Ross has said, we can't put any more taxpayers' money into this to keep it propped up. You've got to do something about it and fix it. And that's exactly what happened in the coal mines in Britain, and Maggie Thatcher said the same thing. And Maggie Thatcher was blamed, and at the moment, Shane Ross is being blamed as well. So it's exactly the same situation.
There's CIE like what I call it, like Aer Lingus as well. You had so many, with
6,000 staff in Aer Lingus at one stage. Ridiculous.
Sorry,
we had 6,000 staff in Aer Lingus at one stage.
Exactly. Your dad actually worked for Aer Lingus, didn't he?
He did, yeah, for 35 years.
Now, Aer Lingus, right, was full of, this is the fact, I'm not kidding you because I know people...
Full of wasters.
Right? It was full of wasters, right?
Yeah, I know. Sure, my dad, I'm not going to say my dad was a waster, but he'd go in the morning sometimes and clock in and go off to the pub with his mates.
But guys, did you know that company directors and ex-company directors, right, were entitled to free flights for the rest of their lives?
Yeah, hold on. My father and our family got cheap. We only had to pay 10% of the fare, no matter when we went or anytime, and we got one free flight anywhere in the world every single year.
So how many other people got that?
And they had too much staff, Michael. It was the same situation we're seeing at the moment with bus Éireann. The same situation we're seeing, all over the world. Because times are changing. You had too many staff doing too little, and it was costing too much. So my dad, back in I found a payslip in the house after he died. I think it was 1971. Was being paid £750 or punts. It would have been pounds or punts. I can't remember. It would have been £750 in 1971 for he was paid bi-weekly every second week. That was a ridiculous amount of money.
Well, what the hell were you doing listening in fucking evening?
No, I don't know. In a corporation house. All right, listen, lads. Hang on. Dermot, I'm going to be with you in a second. Sean will be with you in a second. I have to take a break. We've got off the subject slightly. Text us at 53544. Should Ireland leave the EU? Michael says we should stay. And he thinks that anybody who would vote to get out, he believes the world is becoming full of xenophobes and racists. Should we leave the EU? Let me know. Yes. Let's have a little vote, by the way, because Michael thinks our audience may be xenophobes and racist. Just a yes or no. You're voting in a polling station right now. Text yes or no to 53544 for 20 cents.
Have you got an opinion? What's on your mind? Call 1850-410-494. Niall Boylan. Real Talk Radio.
Classic Hits 4FM.
Classic Love Songs with Gareth O'Callaghan.
Please join me Sunday morning at 8 for 3 hours of your favourite classic love songs.
Show me heaven, cover me.
And every Sunday we have an overnight stay, bed and breakfast and dinner for two to give away at Roganstown Hotel and Country Club, County Dublin.
Classic Love Songs with Gareth O'Callaghan with Roganstown Hotel and Country Club for Sunday lunch like Granny used to make. Roganstown.ie.
Only here on Classic Hits 4FM.
Imagine a sleek new mobile in your hand. Is this any mobile? Or is this a Virgin Mobile with added oomph? Now go be that data demon with unlimited calls, texts and data for just €5 a month. Get those mates rates, guaranteeing Virgin Media customers the best deals and feel the heat of what's hot right now with the latest, greatest smartphones. Get your teeth into mobile with added oomph at virginmedia.ie.
€25 per month after month 5. SIM-only offer available to existing customers. Unlimited applies to national usage. Ends 31st of the 5th, 2017. Fair usage policy. T's and C's apply.
This year, to celebrate their golden anniversary, Laszlo Jewelers are giving up to 50% off engagement rings and jewellery. Only in store at Laszlo Jewelers, 20 William Street, Galway.
Some Easter eggs are a bit boring and empty.
Others are packed with exciting surprises, just like Easter breaks. And an Easter break at the 4-star Salt Hill Hotel has something for everyone. Located on one of Europe's longest promenades and the breathtaking Wild Atlantic Way. Choose one of the Salt Hill Hotel's great value adult or family Easter packages, starting from just €129 per person sharing. Visit salthillhotel.com today or call 091 522 711.
Looking for a great day out? Photo Wildlife Park Cork. With Asian lions, Sumatran tigers, giraffes and a tropical house. You might see free-roaming ring-tailed lemurs or kangaroos. And you can even bring your own little monkeys. Let's go to Ireland's wildest attraction. Roar! See photowildlife.ie.
This is an announcement from the Sinnet Skoda sales team.
Hello, Mark Darcy here, and due to a fantastic start in 2017, we have a great range of pre-owned Skodas now in stock.
Jan Lujan here. We also offer unbeatable low finance rates with the backing of our partner Volkswagen Bank. This will help you to buy the car you want with the right finance package to suit your needs.
Stephen Healy here. Just to confirm, there is always a good deal to be had at Sinnet Skoda, Wicklow Town. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Sinnet Skoda, Wicklow Town. Just 20 minutes south of the M50, 20 minutes north of Gorey. See sinnetskoda.ie.
Imagine a school which is as serious about your Leaving Certificate success as you are. One which specialises in preparing you for excellent exam results and offers comprehensive study manuals, exceptional online resources and around-the-clock academic support. Situated in Dundrum, Dublin and conveniently located on the Lewis Line, Ashfield College is home to some of Ireland's finest teachers. Phone 01 490 4050 or see ashfieldcollege.ie. Ashfield College, serious about the Leaving Certificate.
Warning. Niall Boylan at night is controversial and confrontational and may cause offence to some. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, keep texting 53544. Let me go to Dermot. Dermot, should we stay or should we go now?
Should I leave or should I go? Yeah. The Clash probably didn't realise their song would be so famous 20 or 30 years later.
Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it is, in 73 we signed up to the EEC, which what does that mean? The European Economic Community. It was a trade. It was a trading partnership among the European countries. And that was fine and that was grand. But then sinister things started to take place, and you had Maastricht and the whole lot. And they started to look at it on a political basis that I think, I'm fairly sure, maybe Joe can answer it, was Europe meant to be modelled on the United States? Was it meant to be the United States of Europe? So in other words, Germany would be California, France would be Texas or Florida, and we'd be Ohio or something like that. We'd all be states within, equal states within Europe. And no, it hasn't worked out that way. We are not an equal European Union because we are not government, but we are not governed at all by Enda Kenny or any government that's in Dáil Éireann does not govern us, because we have to go to Europe to get permission to do anything in this country. And at the end of the day, Merkel is the teacher, we are the pupil, and that's it. Her number one priority in life is Germany. And Thatcher was right in one way all those years ago when she said that if this union down the road was going to go, that eventually Germany would head it. They would be the powerhouse. And she's bang on. They are the powerhouse. And Merkel really doesn't give a damn. Now, it said, in fairness to Theresa May today, in the letter she wrote that she wanted a priority between the Republic of Ireland and the UK has to be a priority, because it's going to be a major problem if a hard border is put in to separate us from the north. Now, do you honestly think that Angela Merkel down in Berlin is going to give a flying fuck about Ireland? I don't think she will.
Well, I mean, that's a fair point, Michael.
So in answer to the question...
Well, mind you, I don't know how long Angela Merkel's going to be there. I don't think she'll be right there next time around anyway.
There next year. She's not next year to be the socialists in power. Yeah. They're the only alternative. There's no far-right party.
Well, whoever is in power in Germany, in all honesty, do you really think they're going to look over?
They will. The EU chief negotiator said they know Ireland, they know the border, they own a hard border. Even our party chairman, the European Parliament, said, and Guy Verhofstadt, the former Belgian Prime Minister, was chair of the European Parliament Brexit team. He said they don't want a hard border. No one wants a hard border.
But how are they going to work that out?
Exactly.
Honestly, Michael, let's all use our heads here, okay? So, Britain is not part of Europe anymore. They don't have free movement. Oh, they won't actually, probably in 6 or 7 months, right? When they start bringing that in, okay? So, how are they going to work that one out without a hard border?
They can have the border between Britain and Ireland. The island of Ireland can be the border. Once you go to the British mainland, that'd be the...
But technically speaking, Northern Ireland won't be part of Europe. I understand the whole Republican attitude towards that, but that's neither here nor there unless we have a vote for Northern Ireland to be an independent nation. But in saying that, for the moment, Northern Ireland is part of the UK, which is not part of Europe. We are going to have customs and excise and all that kind of stuff before you come into Newry. We're going to have it there.
It's not like in all honesty. Hang on, it's not like we're a separate island. You go up to the border and you will park your car and you're in the European Union. And you look across the road, 2 meters across the road, and you're outside the European Union. It is not like for all these suits in Germany and France and Strasbourg and all to sit there and go, oh yeah, well we know this and we know that and we're looking at this. They have, in all honesty, they have not come up with one concrete decision as how they're going to solve this problem between Ireland and England.
They will have massive illegal immigration into Britain if they don't put a border because, I don't know. So, Stavros from Poland who wants to go to London illegally and work just has to go to Ireland, get a plane to Ireland and then get the train up to Belfast.
And because it does not affect the German people or the French people or whatever, they're really, what you don't see doesn't bother you. And if they don't see it, it's not going to bother them. And it's very unfair to us. It's very unfair to us as we're supposed to be equal economic countries in Europe. At the end of the day, the way we stand at the moment, I would, if it was a piece of paper put on me tonight to say, which way will you go? You know what, the state we're in at the moment, financially and otherwise, I would say better out than fucking in.
Okay, well, hang on for a second, Dermot. Stay there, because I want to bring Sean in on this as well, because Sean, you're on Classic Hits. Hey,
how's it going now?
Good, Sean. Should Ireland stay in the EU or move out?
They should cling to the EU with every last breath, yes.
Why?
Well, I wasn't alive 50, 60 years ago, but I have seen newsreels of how poor this country was, and I visited people's houses and been told stories of, I remember back in the 60s when we got electricity and things like this.
Yeah, Britain wasn't too far ahead of us at the time either, but yeah.
Well, parts of America, anyway. But basically, I'm trying to get in a roundabout way. I'm trying to get at is you want to be a poor, shitty country again, basically.
We won't be a poor, shitty country again.
And on what do you base this?
Well, I can be pretty sure we wouldn't be a poor, shitty country right now if we weren't part of the European Union anyway.
Exactly.
Hang on. We were part of the developed world. We were growing economically anyway. We probably did get some assistance from the EU to accelerate that somewhat, but most of the money that we got from the EU, we've paid back tenfold.
I know a little bit about Irish history. What happened in that 50 years between independence and 73 when they joined the EEC? Was this the Singapore of Europe?
Well, no, we were part of the European Common Market. Wasn't that what it was called?
But Sean, how are you doing? If you know your history, Sean, if you know your history, Sean, in 1959 we had a leader called Sean Lemass who took over, and in 1959 we presumably hadn't got a pot to piss in, and yet today we have, for good or bad, we have Crumlin, we have Tala, we have Finglas, we have Cabra, we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of houses that were built back at the start of the 60s when we hadn't got a pot to piss in. So to say that we were a poor, shitty country, we were up to the end of the 1950s under Neville era.
I'm overstating the case, obviously.
Absolutely. But Lemass was had a massive vision. He was a fantastic leader. Unfortunately, we never again had a man like him, and he was superb. But to say, do we want to be a poor, shitty country? What exactly are we at the moment? We're pretty fucked up.
You're a rich appendage of a much larger entity. If this is a supranational entity,
we're being ruled. Sean, we're being ruled by people that don't give a shit about Ireland. We're not. This is not the United States.
No, I don't argue that. I don't think I'm not naive enough to think that we have any real sovereignty in this country. But I'm looking at just basic economic facts. It's better if we're in than if we're out.
Well, is that fear that says that to you, that you fear the future of Ireland if we're out? I mean, I suppose a lot of people would have thought the same thing about Great Britain, the journey into the unknown, but I think Britain are going to make a success of this.
It has to be fear.
We know what happens when countries split themselves off into tiny entities and they erect tariff walls and protections. We know what happens. It's
But you're exaggerating a bit. We've already come from that, and okay, you're saying it was poor, and Dermot is right about what Sean Lamass did. This country was economically growing before we joined the common market.
If you're leaving the EU, though, you're leaving from a free trade zone to one that's not covered by free trade, at least within the EU. So by definition, you're moving away from that if you leave.
But we also don't have to abide by European trade deals, which could also put us in a very attractive position too.
But I don't think how have these trade deals been so bad for Ireland?
Well, they are saying now that these trade deals could be beneficial to the UK.
Because Sean,
I mean, apart from anything else, look at our natural resources that we've given away, our fisheries we've given away. I know farmers who have 2 or 3 fields or acres or whatever it is. I'm not too sure. I'm not too well into farming, but they have to, by law, leave them empty every year. And not only are they not, they are checked on a regular basis. They're checked by satellite to make sure, because they're given money to leave the fields empty. They could be making a lot more money,
I'll give you. All right. If Ireland could pull a Norway, leave the EU, and then get control of all the natural gas and oil fields, and set up the sovereign wealth fund, in those circumstances, yes, I would be in favor of Ireland leaving the EU. But that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Why wouldn't it happen?
Well, I think it would take time, Dermot.
Okay, Sean.
Who currently is making money off of those fields right now in 2017? Who has ownership of these, and who is running them, and who's making money of these vast deposits of Irish wealth that exist? Trillions of barrels, reserves, gas, oil. Who's
Well, the thing about it is, it would cost money to get those reserves out of the ground. We'll stay there for a second. Mind you, we're doing quite well with wind farms at the moment. Catherine, you're on Classic Hits. Sorry, go ahead, Catherine.
Oh, good evening, Niall.
You want to leave?
I must say, I enjoyed so much. Not that I enjoyed, but it was extremely intelligent what Derek and Joe are saying. And
Derek or Dermot?
Excuse me, Dermot.
Thank you.
But I mean, sorry?
No, go ahead.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Gosh, you always speak sense. But anyway, the point is, I was in France, for a couple of months there seeing my children, and this was during the time of Brexit. And, the French, the French, the Germans and the Italians are Europe, We are insignificant, I'll give you an example. When France want to make a law, say, for example, the Burkini business or whatever they want to do, they say, we'll do this, we'll do that. They don't, like Ireland, say, we have to ask the EU, etc., etc. And just another point I want to make is that, we're complaining, or we have complained about being under the control of England for 800 years. And then, now we're under the control of Germany. So when, in Christ's name, are we ever going to be a republic? Because the name republic means independent, and that is what I want.
Well, now, Catherine, I know what you want, because you've been on before. And if you had your way, you'd line up all the ships at Dublin Port and you'd put every foreigner on it and send them home.
No.
You would, Catherine, because that's what you said before.
Okay, but don't give me a name like that. When Hassan was ringing there recently, and he was speaking to this Mr.
About Muslims, yeah.
Hassan, about his book, and he was speaking about Islam. I mean, I was actually worried. I texted in to say that I hope Hassan is not his real name, and he was from Iran.
Iran, he was from, yeah.
I'm not racist as such. I'm patriotic, like Podrick. I mean, Marie Le Pen, like, for example, she is just so... she loves her country. And she loves why she's looking for the best for her country. What in Christ's name is wrong with that?
And I'm sure you're a fan of Donald Trump and Nigel Farage as well.
How does that work if every single country does that?
Say that again, Sean.
I was just saying, how does that work if every single country follows that same rule?
Am I speaking to the American there?
You are speaking to the American, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's his interest in Ireland?
Interest in Ireland? My interest is that it's a better place to live than the United States. I'm a dual citizen, and I've been here 11 years now. That's my interest.
And that gives you the authority to speak
I'm an Irish citizen, so you're damn right I'm going to speak, yes.
Catherine, be fair to the man. Be fair to him. He's an intelligent guy. He's speaking a lot of sense.
Thank you, Dermot. Thank you.
We might not agree, but he does speak a lot of sense. And
Okay, Dermot. Because you say so, I will.
Because he says so. I mean,
Yeah.
I do think it's called common courtesy, Catherine, anyway, but sorry.
Yeah, but I'm pissed off listening to Americans and English on the radio, these days. in fairness.
Why?
Why?
Well, just because somebody has an American accent, they don't have an opinion.
It's not that, but I mean, they're all over, seriously.
What? They're all over the place, are they? Americans
look at
and
that
British.
Zabone one, for Christ's sake. She wants to bring every child from Syria into Ireland. She's not even fucking Irish, excuse me,
Oh, okay.
But no, I do want to get into
Can I get
it
in there?
now.
Yeah, you can, Sean, sorry, yeah.
No, Dermot here.
Oh, Dermot, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would think, I give my opinion is this. Ireland are not going to do anything for the next 2 years. I wouldn't have thought. There's nothing on the horizon that we're going to be leaving the European Union. I think we'd be scared shitless
Dermot,
take a jump.
Dermot, what happens if Sturgeon takes Scotland out of the UK? Then what happens?
Well, no, exactly. The very point I was going to make was the waves that are coming down the line in the next couple of months and couple of years is Scotland. If Scotland breaks up the union, that's one. A huge one next month is, and it could very well happen if Le Pen gets in France, she's going to cause murder in France. There could very well be a French. If she gets power, there could be a French exit. And if France leaves the EU is finished. And Germany know it.
I agree.
All bets are off. All bets will be off if Le Pen wins.
I do believe, and I think he's right. I think a lot of people have said this, Sean. I don't think we'll even get as far as the end of the Brexit in 2 years' time. I think the European Union is snookered. I think it's finished. I think it's a failed concept.
Well, if Le Pen is elected, then perhaps. But if she is defeated, no.
She won't be defeated.
They'll scrape it together. They're going to scrape it together. They're going to make sure that UK pays their damn dues before they leave. They're not going to get any special treatment, and that's going to... Yeah, there's a bit of intimidation factor there, to be honest, but that's going to keep some other member states in line, I think, that might think about popping out.
All right, listen, guys, I'm going to have to wrap it up. Listen, thanks very much indeed, Dermot, Michael, Sean, and Catherine as well. Leaving the EU will be a complete, utter madness, as somebody else says. Never mind Dermot, the communist, and Katrina. No, it's Catherine, not Katrina, the left-wing hippie. Catherine's not a left-wing hippie, by any stretch of the imagination. She wouldn't be. She's the furthest from the left you could possibly get. Another person says, Kenny and his crew would never upset the market, so we need them out of government, says Stephen of Inglis. Well, Stephen, if we ever had a Brexit here, I could tell you now, Kenny could never manage it, him and his crew. They shut Irish sugar down. This is the EU he's talking about. The EU is presently in the same situation as the Eastern Bloc were in the 80s, before the collapse of the USSR. No empire is eternal and survive a certain period of time. That comes in from Marion Nice. Belgium is the size of my sitting room. The chief negotiator for the EU in Brexit is from there. It's an utter laugh. It's all about the bureaucrats. Another person says, absolutely not, we should get out. And Catherine is right. We need to line up the boats and get all the foreigners out of the country too. And that's not a bit racist. Another person says, what the F am I listening to? You are one Mr. Right if you're continuing being so depressingly in favour of anti-racism, something limits, whatever that means. No idea what your text even means. You sound like you wrote it while sitting on the toilet with your pants down around your ankles and having a poo at the same time, because it's all over the place. All right, now I want to move on. An IT expert who began to trawl the dark net. For those who don't know what the dark net is, it's like the World Wide Web, but it's a bit more secretive because people can do it kind of anonymously. Now, obviously, this guy was caught. I don't know how, but anyway, he was. He was looking for child pornography websites, but he's basically avoided going to jail. He got a 2.5-year suspended sentence because he downloaded over 300 images, and there was videos as well. His name is Richard Coughlin. He's 37 years of age. He'd recently lost his job. And when I say recently, this is 6 or 7 years ago. And was sleeping all day and accessing these websites at night, clearly because he was bored. He later told Gardaí he went into a hollow. In other words, he went into some sort of state of boredom and depression. Detective Garda Kieran Murphy told the Dublin Circuit Criminal Court that the Garda Computer Crime Investigation Unit had such a backlog of cases in 2010 that he didn't receive any results till 2015. So he waited 5 years. They took his 2 laptops away. He waited 5 years for the Computer Crime Investigation Unit. They send the hard drives, I imagine, over to another country to get them analysed, to find the images or whatever the way they do it. I don't know how they do it. And it took 5 years to do that. In the meantime, this guy went to the Garda station on numerous occasions and said, listen, you don't have to send them off. I'm guilty. I can tell you there's porn on it. I know there's child porn on it. I'm guilty. Take me to court. I'll plead guilty. He said that he had based his sentencing on previous child pornography cases. This is Judge Martin Nolan when he handed him a sentence of 2.5 years, but suspended it all. He said he based the sentencing on previous child pornography cases that he had, which concluded that in the instances of low numbers of images, and when an accused had no previous convictions, a suspended sentence should be handed down. In other words, this was one of the lesser crimes that he had seen in recent years in relation to child porn. He had seen other cases, obviously, with thousands of images and videos, and a lot worse than these ones. Looking at some of the comments online, it kind of suggests that people have mixed views on this guy on whether he should have gone to jail or not. I mean, some of the comments online, somebody says here, maybe he downloaded them by accident. He clearly didn't. He admitted that he downloaded them. Somebody said, it's not such a big deal. It's only a few images. He's not the one that's abusing the children. Why aren't they chasing the people abusing the children? Yes, he shouldn't have done it, but to give him a jail sentence of 2.5 years, even suspended, was a bit ridiculous. Another person says, absolutely not. He should have gone to jail. Straight away, throw away the key. He's a dirtbird. And one comment even suggested that they may have been just curious, or he may have been just curious, and there's no law against thinking about something but not actually acting on it. And that made me think about something. Child pornography is the most deviant, horrible, disgusting thing that you could possibly view on the internet. And it's illegal. So what you're doing is you're watching a crime being committed. That's what you're watching, a crime being committed. And if you weren't watching that crime being committed, there wouldn't be a market for that crime, is the argument, and that's why it's considered to be a criminal offence. Those laws were strengthened yesterday in the Sexual Offences Bill. But here's what got me thinking. If I went online and I did a search for, I want to look at beheadings, or I want to look at grotesque murders, I'll find videos, and I can look at them. Now, I would be badly affected by them, I'm pretty sure, and have nightmares over them. But I wouldn't be brought to court over it because I didn't commit the murder. I'm just looking at it. So even if I was thinking, I wouldn't mind doing that myself. I wouldn't mind beheading somebody. I wouldn't mind stabbing someone to death. Not that I'd be thinking that, but if I was thinking that, that's still not illegal. Because we don't have thought crimes. Thankfully, or we could all go to jail. Because I'm sure there's points in your life where you say, I'd love to kill him. We don't have thought crimes. We don't have thought police. But when it comes to child porn, although we all know and we believe it's depraved, we are thought police. We're essentially saying, you're looking at child porn, you're looking at a crime being committed, and you're thinking about it, that you might want to do it yourself, so we're going to put you in jail. And it got me kind of thinking that as much as I believe it's a heinous thing to do and a disgusting thing to do, should it actually be a crime? Should the judge have jailed him? So here's the question. So he had 300 images of clearly girls and boys under the age of 18 anyway, under the age of consent, on his computer in sexual acts or in some sexual form. Should he have gone to jail? The judge gave him a 2.5 year suspended sentence. I want you to text a simple yes or no. By the way, the end result of our Brexit was 67% of people voted to leave. Slightly different to today's result, which was more than 90%, which is kind of weird. Okay, so going back to this, should the judge have jailed this guy? Should he have put him in jail? Custodial sentence, rather than suspending it. Yes, you believe he should, or no, you believe he shouldn't. You can text us at 53544. Let me know what you think.
This is the Niall Boylan Show. Time to join in the conversation online or on your smartphone. Real Talk Radio.
Classic Hits 4FM.
PJ Gallagher and Jim McCabe in the morning.
Wake up happy with us on Thursday morning from 6. You could win yourself a 2-night stay at the Harbour Hotel in Galway.
And we'll kick off the Tom Jones ticket table tennis tournament.
Wow, that sounds impressive.
It's going to be fantastic.
No melon.
Ping pong, my friend, ping pong.
We'll talk to you Thursday morning from 6.
Wake up happy.
With Conlon's Land Rover Kildare. They go above and beyond. ConlonsLandRover.ie on Classic Hits 4FM.
Some people will choose Styra because they're the leading name in attic stairs, while some people will choose Styra because they're Irish made and have been for over 30 years. Others will choose Styra because they're simply the safest, most reliable option for attic access and increased storage space. Whatever reason you choose Styra Attic Stairs, you'll be glad you did. Find us on Facebook, visit styra.com or call Styra on 1850 639 639.
A confident new life,
A great new look. The best in professional hair transplants. Natural looking hair that lasts. You can find all that at MHR Clinic. And now, find MHR Clinic on Grafton Street. Conveniently located at the heart of Dublin. Delivering honest advice and the latest exclusive treatments to combat hair loss. All at an affordable price and with some treatments that can even be done in a day. MHR Clinic at the top of Grafton Street or mhrclinikireland.com.
It's the Renault Kadjar's second birthday, and we're celebrating all its finest features. Best-in-class diesel economy, navigation, automatic lights and wipers, and a hands-free key card. So we're offering you the birthday gift of a once-off special offer with 0% APR, 5 years warranty and roadside assistance. Grab the offer before the celebration ends on March 31st, 2017. Visit Deer Park Motors, Charleville today. Finance is made under a hire purchase agreement. Terms and conditions apply. Deposit required. Subject to lending criteria. See Renault.ie.
Junior and Leaving Certificate students, it's time to get serious. Ashfield College offers exceptional Easter revision courses during the Easter holidays. Leaving Cert oral preparation courses for Irish and French are also enrolling now. Our revision courses are taught by some of Ireland's best teachers and include excellent study notes and online resources. Phone 01 490 4050 or log on to ashfieldcollege.ie to register today.
Did you know that 90% of all breast augmentations are from an A cup to just a C cup? When choosing River Medical, you can rest assured that you are in the safest, most experienced and trusted of hands. Unrivaled, unlimited aftercare and a commitment to achieving the best results for you and your body. To arrange a private and confidential consultation, call us on 01 662 9106 or visit rivermedical.ie.
River Medical. Confidence in cosmetic care.
Niall Boylan at night is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh, I keep texting 53544. Somebody says, Niall, I understand your point is that you wouldn't jail someone for looking at tons of cocaine on a computer. It doesn't prove that they will act upon it. That comes in from Stephen and Finglas. It doesn't, no, because there is evidence out there that suggests that people that look at child pornography would never actually abuse a child. Or those who have looked at it don't actually abuse children. There is evidence to say that people have done it out of curiosity. There is evidence to say that people do it because they're deviant and they're just vile people. But it doesn't actually suggest that there's a link between looking at child porn and actually raping children. I don't believe that link exists. So here's the question. As much as we believe it's depraved, it's disgusting. It's vile. Should the judge have jailed the guy? A lot of people are saying, no, not really. But some people are saying, yeah, put him in jail for life. Life. I did see one comment today. He should have gone to jail for life and throw away the key. I don't know. As much as I think, as I said, it is disgusting, I think jailing somebody for life for it would be a bit much. Text 53544. The question quite simply is, should somebody go to jail for possession of child pornography? Remembering you are watching a crime being committed. Alan, you're on Classic Hits.
Good evening, Niall.
Good.
How are you?
It's been a while.
It has been a while speaking to you from sunny Dublin. I'm back in the old smoke, so hello everybody again.
Oh, you're back. Are you back living in Dublin again?
Yes, I am. Niall eventually got a friend who let me sleep in their place, so here I am, out of Galway. Thanks be to Christ.
All right, good for you.
Yeah,
and I hope, and after our conversation we had the last time you were in air about your illness, I hope you're feeling okay.
Well, we had a little joke with Elaine there earlier. She asked me was I well. I told her I'm only dying of cancer, so we're all laughing about it.
Yeah. And have you been to the doctor again since you were diagnosed?
I haven't.
No.
It's only the beginnings now. When we get to the end, that's when the problem starts. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Okay. So this guy.
By the way, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Thanks for Tony, or was it the taxi guy? He said something. I remember. I was listening one night, and he said he was sorry to hear. So that's nice.
It is nice to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this guy, it was Dermot, I think, actually. Dermot, yeah. Richard Coughlin, 37 years of age, and he had 300 images. Some of them are videos, I believe, and they varied in severity. And the judge gave him a 2.5-year sentence. Should he have gone to jail? A 2.5-year suspended sentence he got.
Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh, to be honest, because he's not doing any harm to the child. Everybody knows this. He didn't do anything. All he was doing was looking at the things, and to be honest with you, that keeps them away from the kids in the parks, doesn't it?
Well, you're saying he didn't do anything to the kids. Well, indirectly he is, I suppose, because if there wasn't loads of Richard Coughlins in the world, this guy, there would be no market for this stuff.
Yeah, but really, 2.5 years. What was he doing? Sitting in a room, checking off to a photograph of a child. I don't really see how that's...
Well, he needs counselling, clearly.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we all know that counselling doesn't change them and whatever else. That's the way they're born. They can't really help it.
Is he a paedophile? Is he a paedophile?
I don't think I'd call him a paedophile. I'd call him something, but I wouldn't call him a paedophile.
Okay, because he hasn't actually been with any children.
Yeah.
So he's just looking at porn.
Exactly. And what exactly is wrong in the world of the paedophile if he's only looking at porn of kids? I don't see anything really wrong with that.
Well, as again, I said to you, it is supplying the market with a need, isn't it? So, in other words, if he didn't do it and everybody else didn't do it, these people, usually in places like Asia, where this stuff is probably not illegal, won't be rounding up children and forcing them to commit sexual acts on each other.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing.
Yeah, but 2.5 years of a fella's life because, he jacked himself off over a photograph of a child.
Yeah.
It's a bit mad. I think that's a bit mad, to be honest.
Well, you don't think there's any... Do you think there's something wrong with what he did?
Not inherently, because his sexual predilection is towards children, and all he's doing is masturbating over them. I sometimes masturbate now over women. I've kind of given it up, though, at my age.
But that's different. That's grown, consenting women who've consented to their photographs being taken for pornography.
Yeah, there is that.
That's acceptable.
But nobody's harmed. He didn't harm anyone. He just didn't.
Okay, well, stay there for a second, because Deirdre, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, Deirdre?
Hello, Niall. How are things?
Well, now, according to Alan, he didn't harm anybody, so why should he go to jail?
Well, he should go to jail. I mean, to be doing something like that with child pornography.
So what was he doing, Deirdre? All he was doing was masturbating.
Can we clarify? We don't know what he was doing, but there's an assumption when you're downloading porn, you're doing it for some sort of sexual reason.
Yeah, you're doing it for some reason, is right.
Yeah.
You don't just download.
Yeah, you're doing it for gratification of some description, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. It's a disaster what they're doing, you know.
Okay, but if he's only looking at it, is that as bad as actually doing it?
Actually, it's nearly as bad as doing it.
So what? Looking at a child invariably naked or having sex is as bad as going out and getting some 9-year-old and raping them.
Oh, he definitely should be sent. There's no use in saying he shouldn't be.
Yeah, there is a brain there. That isn't true. What you just said is ridiculous. A guy going into a park and raping a kid, should be put in prison for at least 10 years, whatever. A guy at home masturbating over a kid's photograph.
He shouldn't be doing the like of that. That's just about giving him a lesson. He shouldn't be doing the like of that. That's a disgrace.
So your fella did it over you, didn't he?
I wouldn't. I mean, it's a total disaster, like what they're doing. You know.
But are you married, Deirdre?
I'm not married, Niall. No, I'm not. Thank God, I'm not.
Thank God.
Thank God for that.
Well, I'm sure have you had a boyfriend in your day?
No. Well, I never had. I never had a boyfriend.
Did you not? No, did you not, Deirdre? Did you never?
I don't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one did.
What? No one
never had a boyfriend.
Did you never, Deirdre? Sorry, I don't want to pry into your private life. You don't have to answer the questions if you don't want to. Did you never date a boy or a man?
I never.
No interest.
I never did. But the thing about it, I'm so gorgeous looking. They're all lining up for me.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. No.
I know myself. Yeah.
I'm a friendly person. No.
Okay, so Deirdre, you're likening what he did to actually committing the act. Now, let me say, if I went home tonight and I looked up a video of somebody being stabbed to death, right? Now, it would be a horrible thing for me to want to look at, but let's say I did, right? And I wouldn't be arrested for that. Although the act that's happening on the screen is completely illegal because it's murder, I'm watching it, so I'm watching a crime being committed, but yet I'm only thinking about it. So we don't have police that arrest me for thoughts. And yet we do when it comes to this particular crime. If you watch this crime, it's illegal to commit this crime, obviously, to rape a child or abuse a child. Of course it's illegal. But it's also illegal to watch somebody else doing it as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which is quite unusual in some sense.
It's just nothing to do with children. I don't know what's about it. Nothing to do with kids. It's just disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah, they're born that way, Deirdre. They can't help it. Paedophiles are sexually attracted to children. That's the way they are. It's the same as why I'm sexually attracted to a woman. He didn't do anything. He didn't touch a child.
I know he didn't do anything, but you never know what they would do. What are they doing looking at something like that? Do you know what I mean? They're not doing it for nothing. Do you know what I mean?
They're probably trying not to go near a child, actually.
Okay, well, do me a favour. Stay there for a second. You can text us at 53544. Do you believe 2.5 year suspended sentence was enough for looking at 300 images of child pornography, including videos as well? Thomas, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, Thomas?
Hello, Kira. Listen, like the gentleman did plead guilty to everything. Yes. He did say, look, I don't send these jokes. Right? I did watch these. I did do these things. Now, right, I think he got a proper sentence. Okay, he needs counselling. He needs sorting out. But to put him to jail, I think that it's silly. You know,
it would be silly. Well, Deirdre thinks it's disgusting.
Oh, it's appalling. I'm a father of 6 grown-up children. It's totally appalling, the idea of somebody to watch something like that. But I didn't, at the same time, I don't believe that. What's the good of putting him into jail? What good is it?
Well, it is a sensible man, though. Amazing.
Well, the reason people would say it's good is because it discourages people from committing the crime. Okay, so, for example, if we put hang on. If we had tough sentencing for people watching child pornography, well, then the people who are making the child pornography probably wouldn't make it anymore because there would be nobody to look at it.
Oh, listen, Niall, you know as long as you'll always get somebody to watch shit like that. You know, you really and truly will. It's like saying,
have you? I'm assuming you've never watched child pornography, Thomas. Have you?
Never in my life. The idea of
I'd say I've watched a bit of ordinary porn, though, Tom.
Oh yes.
Oh,
there you go.
Yes. What's the difference?
Well, obviously the difference under the age of consent is the difference, Alan.
Yeah. He's not watching it, Niall, because he's not attracted to children. Paedophile is.
It's not. I understand what paedophile is. I understand what paedophilia is.
Okay, well, do me a favour. Stay there for a second. So you can take 3 and 2 if you need them, Helena. James, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, James?
How's it going, Niall?
James, you agree... Well, you're agreeing with me, but what part of what I said are you agreeing with?
About the thought crime.
Oh, about a thought crime aspect of it. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think it's only the...
Well, I don't even know whether I agree with myself. I'm asking the question. I don't know whether I agree with myself in this particular...
Well, it's a very small tip. It's the start of the tip of the wedge. You know, like it's free thought. Free thought is a human right in my eyes. You know, I don't think we should be controlling what people think.
See, if I thought about raping somebody, which I wouldn't, but if I did think about it, that's not a crime.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it deserves a similar punishment for the actual act. You know, people go to jail for 2.5 years for actually molesting children. Mm-hmm. You know, and this guy's getting 2.5 years for possessing pictures. Regardless of how grotesque or how repulsed you are about it, it's still, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. He should be put on a list, maybe, you know, a watch list of any children around the local area are abused. You know, they could look at the profile.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Well said, James. Amazing, James. That's amazingly open-minded of you there. Well done.
So then you're essentially saying that it shouldn't be a criminal offence. It should be treated like alcoholism or gambling or anything else like that. That's an addiction of some description.
No, but we treat drug dealing and having a possession of a drug differently. There's different punishments for it. Mm-hmm. The drug dealer gets a harsher sentence than someone who purchases the drug for his own personal consumption.
So would you liken this to what I gave the analogy I gave earlier on? I mean, if a murder is committed, I can watch the murder on a video and I'm not breaking the law.
Right, so no, yeah, exactly. Like, you know, we've all seen ISIS beheading videos.
Mm.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I would advise people to watch them because you can't unwatch them, unfortunately.
No, they're horrible.
What's these videos you're talking about?
What are you talking about? Beheading videos.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Who's watching them?
Well, there was one, unfortunately, that I managed to... I did see, going back about 2 or 3 years ago. What was that guy's name? Oh, he was in the...
Foley.
I think it was he was in the kind of red jumpsuit.
James Foley, you know.
Yeah, and somebody sent me a link to it, didn't realise what I was doing, opened it, and before I knew it, I was watching it, and I became intrigued. And I have to be honest, it has a huge effect when you see something like that. You can't unwatch it.
No.
Yeah.
What did you watch it for?
I've no idea why I watched it, Helen.
No.
Yeah.
No, sure, there's videos of 9-year-olds beheading men.
Mm.
You know, like, and
yeah, I know there is, yeah.
You know, so...
Are you watching that kind of crap, James? You want to get that out of your head?
No. Well, yeah, people have shown me little snippets on their phone, you know, when walking and stuff like that. But I haven't actually sat down and researched them myself. But I have seen some, yes.
And I'm surprised, and I was surprised. What would bring it into your head to want to watch that?
No, but we were talking about it at the time on the air, and somebody had sent me a link on Facebook to the video. And I just watched the start of it and then just became a little bit intrigued by it. And before I knew it, it was only about 20 seconds long. Before I knew it, this guy's head was on the ground and somebody was holding it in the air then.
What do you mean before you knew it, Niall? You saw the nice guy.
No, I didn't. I saw the guy behind him doing his whole... behind him. I don't know what he was saying or whatever he was doing. And next minute, he had a sabre or some sort of machete in his hand, took his head off and was holding it in his hand, and it was the most obscene thing I've ever seen in my life. And for months, genuinely for months, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It's horrendous. I wouldn't advise anybody to ever watch it. Sorry, yeah.
You know, people think that the internet is so safe, Niall, yeah. The dark web, Niall, you can get anything on it.
The dark web?
There's a dark web. There's such apps called Tor, right, where anything goes.
And is this where these individuals will seek out these kind of images, I suppose?
No, these people would upload live streams and people can bet on how this person can die.
Sounds to me like you were dangerously close to being one of these
people.
I
know a guy who had done a degree in computer forensics, and for one of his projects was to go on the dark web and see could he track down certain, paedophile ring or something. Mm-hmm. And he was telling me the stuff on it. You know, you could buy RPGs, AK-47s, tons of cocaine.
Oh, somebody was telling me you can literally hire a hitman.
Yeah, you can hire a hitman, yeah. It's completely unpoliced, like.
Okay, well, actually, we're moving off the subject. Let me get back to the original subject. I know it all sounds extremely funny, but it's very real, Alan. Angela, you're on Classic Hits. You've heard James. He doesn't believe somebody should go to jail. Certainly should be going onto a watch list or counselling of some description, and Alan agrees. Should somebody go to jail, Angela, for downloading child pornography?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And the reason being?
The reason being the thoughts are there. The thoughts are there.
So you want to punish people for possessing a piece of paper?
No, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Angela, when you get a rush of hormones and there's a whole lot of thoughts in your head about killing your husband or whatever, you're not going to jail because of that.
Oh, believe me, I'd have loved to have done it.
Of course you would have. Yeah, exactly. So we can't be going to jail because of the thoughts we have. So I've been in prison for life.
The thing is, hold on a second. I am not downloading images of children.
Yeah, but you just said the thoughts. You said the thoughts. I mean, what are you talking about? The thoughts I have, the thoughts Niall had after beheading the thing, and you on your hormonal surge. What thoughts do you have?
Well, this is different. I'm not searching for it. I'm not going onto a computer and saying, how do I kill my husband? They're going into a deep, dark web, as you said, in the absolute depths of society to look for child pornography.
Okay, but they're not committing they're not doing it.
How do you know that this hasn't stopped him doing it?
Because they're just looking at it. He wasn't convicted of anything. He didn't touch a child. Nobody got raped. Nothing happened.
Yes.
And you're saying the thoughts. I mean, you could line up thousands of people in the middle of a country for the thoughts they have just walking down the street then.
Not of children.
Of course of children. People. Do you know how dark the human mind is, Deirdre? You know
Angela.
You know how dark it is, for Christ's sake, for what you were describing.
What do you mean, what I'm describing?
You can't be putting people to jail because they're thoughts.
It's not...
Well, hang on, Angela. James wants to say something to you. Sorry, James, go ahead.
I said, no, it's like freedom of speech, you know. You should have a right to your own body and your own thoughts and your own opinions. You know, and nobody should be policing what you think.
Absolutely, and I agree with freedom of speech, but with freedom of speech comes a level of responsibility. When you say something that's, say, incitement to hatred or racist, you have a responsibility to back it up.
Yeah, yes, no, but it should be basic, common courtesy not to show bomb in an airport.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, well, hold on a second, so. Somebody has to have taken those photographs.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And
of child pornography. No, hold on. It's not fine.
No, he said that's a crime.
And that's
a crime, exactly. Now, if these people weren't out there, hold on. If these people weren't out there searching for them, if these people weren't seeking them out, then there would be no need for it.
Do you seriously think that this industry can ever be stopped?
No, it's not going to be stopped, but you know what? If locking one person up for having over 300 photographs of child pornography stops him going... No, I'm not finished. Stops him going along.
Let her finish. Go ahead.
Stops him going along and saves one child from being raped or being touched or anything, then lock him up.
But there'd be a load of people in prison, Deirdre, if there was blokes were done for the amount of pictures they have of teenage girls.
Niall.
The bloke said...
I mean, okay, but I think, Angela, on that point, now I don't know, but I don't believe there's evidence to suggest that people who watch, say, pornography in general go out and rape women on a regular basis, or watch child porn, go out and abuse children on a regular basis. I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that. The same way as if I watch a murder, on TV, am I going to go out and kill somebody? I'm probably not. So the idea that we're preventing children being abused by locking up people who download child porn doesn't make a huge amount of sense.
Well, hold on. Wasn't there a thing go back?
By the way, I'm not defending what he's done by any stretch of the imagination. It's a despicable, disgusting thing to want to watch. But what I'm saying is, I am defending the point that James is making. It's a thought crime. And are we really putting people in jail for thought crimes?
Yeah, I think we should when it's that serious.
Well, hang on a minute. You admitted that you thought about killing your husband 1,000 times, maybe twice, 3 times every month. I get you with the prison thing.
Hang on. I have to clarify this. In relation to wanting to kill her husband, I don't think she meant it literally. She meant it in a flippant sense.
Yeah, but she thought about it. That's the point, though.
No, I didn't.
It's just like, Alan, people have come on the air and they thought about killing you, but they're not actually going to kill you.
Yeah, but they had the thought, Niall. So
yeah, I've often thought that in my head, I'd love to kill him. But,
there you go.
Yeah.
But
there's one particular bloke at the moment, actually, that I'd love to kill, but I wouldn't.
I'm not saying you should be going to prison for the thought. I mean, everybody I've met probably thought about killing me.
Right, okay. Well, will you hold on a second so and let me speak, okay?
Go on, it makes some sense then.
It is a figure of speech. God, I'd love to kill him. It doesn't mean that I physically want to go out and kill him. It doesn't mean that I want him dead.
Right, so apply that to the child porn guy. The child porn guy has a thought that he wants to have sex with a child, but he doesn't. He has sex with himself, looking at the child. So he's actually protecting the child from himself.
Sick?
No, he's protecting the child from himself. He's actually being taught.
How long can he stop that urge?
He can't. So he's dealing with him whatever way he can. That's what I'm saying.
But you don't know that.
Well, he's always looking at photographs.
But you don't know that.
They're not just, with the greatest respect, Alan, they're not just any photographs.
They're not just, you don't know.
I know,
that
but what I'm saying is, he's trying to keep his shit together. He's actually not going out rape children, is he? That isn't what he was convicted for.
Okay, well, let me put it this way.
So I'm saying to you, he should actually be held up as an example of, here's a bloke who's not going out raping children, so give him, what are you putting him in prison for? He's actually doing it.
Alan, let me ask you a question. If you found out that those pictures were of your son or your daughter, what would you think?
Well, I would never be stupid enough to have a son or a daughter.
No, hold on a second.
Okay, but if they were, if some girl rang me up and said, this is your son.
If it was your son or your daughter, what would you think then?
I'd think the same. I think he's protecting himself. I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. He's protecting the kid.
Is sick.
No.
If you think that it's okay to do that.
You wouldn't, because Alan, I would be horrified if it was my child. Absolutely horrified. But mind you, my child wouldn't be in that position because I protect my children. Unfortunately, these children are not protected, whatever countries they live in. And I said they usually are Asian countries where there's no legislation. They're not protected. And these children are victims. The children, you got to understand, Alan, I suppose the main thing to look at here is the children that this guy was looking at in the child porn, they're victims.
Yeah, but he didn't victimize them.
Absolutely, but he is. But some people would say he is by watching it.
Okay, but I'll guarantee you that your daughter or son, if they put themselves up on a picture on Facebook or whatever else, I guarantee you someone in the world has jacked off over your daughter now.
You are sick.
That's what people do on Facebook.
That
what are you talking about?
A horrible thing to say.
I don't know how good looking. I don't know how good.
But it's not the kind of thing I think of, Alan. But personally, I don't put my children up on Facebook anyway. But it's not the kind of thing I think of.
Hey, if they put themselves up, is all I'm saying. There's other people out there. Whatever.
Alan, have you done this with kids or something? You seem to have a great knowledge of what people are thinking.
It's like idiots. What are you talking about? Why would I be jacking off over kids when I want to have sex with women?
You seem to have a great knowledge of it, Alan.
No, I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, so if you understand it, you have an understanding. An understanding would seem a bit of a knowledge.
I understand exactly where the paedophile's brain is and where it's coming from.
How?
And because he wants to have sex with children. Why don't you understand that? It's like blokes want to have sex with you, Angela. The same thing.
That's different. I'm an adult.
I know that, but we can't help what we're genetically thought of as doing. We can't help that.
I mean, I suppose to give an analogy, I'm not defending his argument, Angela, but I'm saying if a woman is raped, right, violently raped, and for some reason it's recorded on video, and somebody puts it up on the internet, and a load of people watch it, thousands of people around the world watch it, are all those people, should they all go to jail? All the people who watched it?
Very good, Niall. Very good question.
Should they all go to jail? Because a serious crime has been committed, clearly. The perpetrator should be buried and not just put in jail, should be put away somewhere very horrible. But should all those people who watched the video equally go to jail?
They should if they're enjoying it.
Oh,
I think it's sick.
Well,
hang on a minute.
Look, I'm not suggesting it's not a sick thing to want to look at, because of course it is, and it's a depraved thing to want to look at, but should they go to jail?
No, they shouldn't.
But let's be clear about it. Legally speaking, in this country, they wouldn't, right?
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Angela isn't owning up to her own sexual nature now, because anybody who knows anything about women's sexual psychology is they like the feeling of being overwhelmed. In fact, I used to watch kind of sort of half rapey videos with my girlfriend. She'd get off of it. So there's a difference in the female brain than there is the male brain.
But you know what the difference
Would you
is?
admit to that, Angela?
No, what? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
You don't like the feeling of being overwhelmed? By a man?
Jesus, can you let me answer?
I'm just asking.
Yeah, you won't let me answer. No, I'm sorry. I wouldn't sit down and be turned on by a woman being raped. I wouldn't.
Oh, but the feeling of being overwhelmed by a man, which is where we all came from, we're all descendants of rapists when it comes down to it. So women are naturally bent to like that feeling of being overwhelmed.
No, they're not. Who said that?
Oh, you don't know your own nature then, Angela. That's what women's sexual pleasure comes from.
I know what my sexual fantasies are. I know what my sexual preferences are. But you know what the biggest difference in this whole conversation is? It's not children.
Ah, okay. So you will admit that in some way you like the feeling of being overwhelmed, correct?
No, you didn't.
Okay, let's look into Angela's personal sexual life, all right?
Okay, but I'm just saying, sir, that's what paedophiles like when they're having sex with children. They like the feeling of overwhelmed with a child.
Okay, well, stay there for a second, both of you. Somebody says, are snuff films illegal now? Of course they are illegal, yeah, but it's not illegal to watch them. I can't imagine anybody has ever been arrested just for viewing it. And for those who don't know what snuff movies are, I believe snuff movies are where people are committing crimes against other people, and they record it and put them up on the internet. How would these morons feel if it was their kids being raped on camera, projected all over the world to sickos, and anyone accessing is spared jail? They're not human if they believe there's nothing wrong with that. Angela's right, says somebody. Let me go to Irene. Irene, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, Irene?
Hi, Niall. Long time no here.
It's been a while, Irene, yeah.
How are you?
How are you? Do you reckon this guy should have gone to jail for...
Absolutely. I didn't know anything about it. I turned on your radio there tonight.
Yeah.
Ashling just rang me then. I'm absolutely sickened by it. And I'm also sickened by that man there that's speaking. Alan, is it?
Yeah, Alan.
He's a depraved brain, in my opinion.
He's depraved?
He has a depraved IQ. Look, if you think that's okay, you know.
Where are you getting that from? Hang on.
You have a depraved mind, you know.
I don't have a depraved mind.
I
have an understanding of where the paedophile is coming from.
Understand that. That's evil. Do you understand evil? Do you understand evil and pain and hurt?
There's no such thing as
shaking my anger with you, actually.
No need to be shaking my anger.
Now, hang on for a moment, please.
Yeah.
Hang on for a moment, please. What I want you to think about for just 2 seconds, maybe, just for even 2 seconds, I want you to think about those poor children who are stolen in all them countries to satisfy perverts. That they actually show make-up films where they murder them and show them being murdered. So if you know that much about paedophilia, and you should know what consists
There
in
aren't
that
that many
movie.
paedophiles who murder children.
I'm talking about they make videos of them being murdered.
Well, that's
Do you
a different
understand?
thing.
In a sexual way.
Well, that's
what I'm trying to say to you. So what I'm
Okay.
trying to say is, you can't justify any of that whatsoever as a human being.
Sadly, Barbie,
as a
you
human
can't
being.
actually...
Her name is Irene.
As a human being. Just let me finish, because I'm shaking. Now, just let me finish for a minute, please.
Stop shaking. Have a drink.
Because I'm thinking of my own children, what this world is coming to, and my grandchildren mostly, to be honest. But just hear me out, please.
Okay.
It's like stolen goods. I know it's not. It couldn't be the same value. I'm just using it as an example. Niall had a program on there a few weeks ago. It was the people robbing, houses and everything, and then they sell her off to knock to your door and you buy it.
Yeah.
So my attitude was with my parents. I was worried, if you don't buy stolen goods, you're not involved in it. But if
That's
there's no
exactly
market
right.
for that,
My
we'd be
mum
robbing
was the
stolen
same.
goods.
Would never
Do you know
buy
what I
a
mean?
video.
If people
Yeah.
didn't take them, they wouldn't be out
I mean,
robbing.
that's a true point, Alan, that Irene makes. You know, the purchase of stolen goods or the receiver of stolen goods is just as bad as the person steals them, because what you're doing is you're supplying a market.
No, and it takes them.
That's right.
So it's
And
to say,
my mum would never do the same.
Okay, so
Irene.
well then, hang on just a second, Irene. Is Irene not making perfect sense, Alan, when she says that if there was nobody to watch the videos, nobody would be making them?
that's exactly my point.
Yeah, you might be making perfect sense, but unfortunately, the human
You
brain
actually
and the
are
human
agreeing
mind.
with a paedophile sitting down, looking at videos, and he walked out of jail today. Is that right? First I heard of
He walked out of court.
This country has gone disgraceful
No,
for
Irene.
the laws
it's
in
not
this country,
Look,
for child
the fact-
protection, for everything. It's disgraceful.
Okay, just let him respond to what you're saying, Irene, please. Thanks.
Irene, I'm not agreeing. I'm not.
Okay, Irene, can you just let him respond to what you're saying, because I can't hear two people talking together. So just let him respond to what you're saying.
Children on. Have you got children of
Irene,
your own?
Yeah, no, I don't. I wouldn't be such you, but
When
okay.
you
Yeah, but
have
the point
children
is,
of your own, you get up and
that will
do
never
something.
happen. So, yeah, but that'll never
I
happen.
don't
I'm
think
just
you
telling you
should
the
have
facts.
one. You
No,
know,
I wouldn't. I know I
If you
wouldn't. So
think
it's okay.
that's okay to look at.
No,
You know
I
what
never
mean?
said it was okay, Irene. Could you let me tell you what I think? I never said it was okay. What I said was,
You know, that's what he
give that bloke a round of applause for not going out and raping a child, for jacking off in front of a video screen. He didn't harm
Why do you need a round of applause for not raping a child?
Thank you.
Well, come on, Niall. What?
Well, you don't need a round of applause. You're not meant to do it. It's illegal apart from anything else, and it's immoral. Why would you need a round of applause or a medal for not doing it?
Because if he's a paedophile, that's all he wants to do. And he's not allowed to do it.
Let me go to Porrick. Porrick, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, Porrick?
How are you?
Good, Porrick. In relation to these child porn images, 300 images this guy had. He got a 2.5-year suspended sentence, so he didn't go to jail. Do you believe he should have gone to jail?
Oh, yes. Because if you're watching child pornography, you obviously got it on the back of your mind to do
they've got it in the front of their mind, really.
You like this kind of thing, and obviously the more and more pornography you're going to watch, the more you want the real thing, if not before, because nobody's going to watch it unless you're interested. And anybody like this should have treatment and should be jailed and have treatment, because it's not right. It's not right to touch or harm any kid.
The problem is, I don't think treatment, and I think they've proved this throughout the years, treatment doesn't cure paedophilia.
Well, then they have to be taken somewhere and not be let near children, because obviously if you're watching child pornography, there's no way possible you like that stuff. So you're out there, and if you get the chance, you're going to do it.
But he hasn't gone to do it, and he didn't want to do it. He wanted to stop himself from doing it. That's my point.
Well,
he
if
watched
he
a bit of
wanted
porn.
to stop himself, if he wanted to stop himself from doing it, then he should stop watching pornography, child pornography.
Yeah, but he's not doing anybody any harm. That's my point. Don't get that into your head. He's not raping anybody.
Yeah, but if you're watching anyone, children are watching films, violent films, and you know what happened out of them watching violent films. They went out and done something themselves. You've seen it happening.
Well, that's a mad person. Don't be saying stupid things like that. You'll be watching a Rambo movie, then you go out and shoot up a whole lot of people. I mean, those people are insane.
It has happened. It has happened to children went out and done stuff with other people, with other children, and stabbed them and done things like that because they saw it in a film.
Yeah, right. Well, paedophiles haven't seen sexy films with children in them, are they? They're not.
I know the point you're trying to make, Porrick, but there is no evidence, for example, that say somebody who watches pornography would go out and want to rape a woman. There's no evidence to suggest that. There's also no evidence in relation to, say, violent video games or violent movies, unless it's children who are watching it, which are very impressionable minds. If adults are watching it, there's no evidence that people go out and commit crimes based on movies.
It's
very, very rare, extremely rare.
Yeah,
but children don't watch child porn. We're not talking about a child. We're talking about an adult here. It was an adult that was looking at it.
Well, I think myself, if he was watching them kind of videos and child pornography.
Do you watch porn?
No.
No. I find that finally somehow hard.
Porrick, asking you an honest question. Have you ever watched pornography?
Oh,
Yeah.
I did, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, then you have, so.
Well, then you
I don't
have.
watch it. I don't make a habit of watching it, but obviously,
Yeah, but you did at one
I'm a
point.
grown man. I've seen pornography and I watched it, but it doesn't say that I don't
Okay,
know.
well, when the night you watched, or the day you watched the pornography, and I'm sure it was a woman and a man. Well, maybe it wasn't. I don't know your sexual preference, but I doubt you ran out straight after the movie and said, "I need sex immediately," and found the first woman you saw and raped her. Did you? No, I know it sounds a little bit funny, but you didn't, did you?
But the wife wouldn't let me.
Oh, no, okay, well, okay. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make? Is there's no evidence to suggest that people who watch pornography commit sexual crimes.
Yeah, but I think if they're watching that, it's...
Well, clearly there's something depraved about it. Absolutely. There's nobody suggesting that it's not depraved. But to suggest that, this would make somebody rape a child is a bit of a stretch, because if we're to take it that somebody who watches child pornography is a paedophile, all right, and that would be what you're suggesting and what people are suggesting, well, then they're going to do it anyway.
Is it against the law to watch child pornography?
Of course it is.
Yeah, well, there you are. If it's against the law, they shouldn't be watching it.
Okay, well, stay there a second. Let me just go to Liz. You're on Classic Hits. Go ahead, Liz.
Hi, Niall. How are you?
Good. Liz, take it off speaker.
You're off speaker.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I definitely do believe, he should have been locked up now. Because, listen, you have these, for a grown-ass man to be interested in something like that, there's something twisted and perverted about him, And I would imagine, when he stops getting these kicks out of that, do you know what I mean? What's the next step for him, do you know? And, one, it's against the law anyway, and two, you have kids now. Would you want someone watching
Absolutely not.
nude pictures
No.
of your child compromising position?
No, I'd burst them, yeah.
No, of course you wouldn't. You know what I mean? So why shouldn't he be fucking locked up? He's a little scumbag. Of course he should be.
If he didn't do anything, Liz, for God's sake, he's a paedophile. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. He's watching child pornography. Do you know what I mean?
Just say this again. You watch pornography, don't you?
Are you out of bleeding theories? He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but he didn't. All he did was a paedophile. He was watching a kid.
What's he to do? To get the child and rape the child before someone makes them go, all right, there's something fucking wrong with this fool. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what if you did that, that's against the law. But watching something.
No, but Alan, it's against the law to watch child pornography. It is against the law to do that.
Yeah,
it's not
for 2.5 years.
Where do you think it's okay?
Okay, imagine you, Liz. Imagine you. Put yourself in the head of the paedophile there. You've always wanted to have sex with children, but you go home and you watch videos of people having sex with children. Are you not kind of sort of helping out children there? You're not actually having sex with children. You're just watching
it. For God's sake, Alan, will you get your head out of the fucking clouds? Helping out children. You're not helping out children. You are absolutely abusing kids by looking at that rubbish. Do you know what I mean? And if there wasn't people like him wanting it, it wouldn't be happening in the first place. Don't be.
Well, what would you do? What would you do if you were him?
What?
What would you do if you were him? What's the least amount of harm you could do?
I'm working that kind of weird and wonderful way, I kind of function normal. I have a normal functioning brain. I don't go out seeking dirty little pictures of kids. Do you know what I mean? That's just
because
what
you're a heterosexual woman, right? Well, he's doing the best he can in the situation he's in. Otherwise,
Alan, she's up really the best he can.
Hang on a minute.
He's doing the best he can by just watching it and not going out and actually raping a child.
Yeah, because blokes from the age of 16, 17, normal blokes, we want to have sex with women every 20 minutes. Did you know that?
It doesn't matter whether you want that. That's okay.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Fine, a grown-up.
But the paedophile has the same urges. They're just towards children. He's trying to hold it back.
Absolutely.
Think about how hard that'd be.
I don't give a fuck how hard it is. That's on them, not on me.
But there you go. That's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to think how hard it would be.
Why would I? I've no responsibilities to them. I've no care towards them. Why would my care and my thoughts with them kids, not with them?
But then you might understand why a bloke sitting at home, being a paedophile, jacking off to a video, he's doing his best.
Sorry?
He's doing his best. He's doing his best with the lot he's been given.
I think you just come on the radio and set nice people, honest to God.
No, I'm telling you the truth.
Anyway, I don't even believe that you could even think that, honestly. I
don't want to give you the same argument again, and again, I'm not agreeing with what Alan said, and I do agree it's the most depraved thing you could possibly even think about watching. But in saying that, are we saying then that, thinking of something is just as bad as actually doing it?
No, you're not thinking of something. You're saying they're watching it. You're watching
absolutely, yes.
Being abused.
That's only happening in your head.
No, you're sitting there watching.
Absolutely. No, I'm not justifying it. I'm saying it's disgusting.
Give a fuck which way you say it. You know what I mean? Or which way you dress up, or which way you approach me on it. It's wrong on our level.
Okay, well, stay there because Dylan, you're on Classic Hits. Stay there, Liz. Dylan, you're on Classic Hits. Go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, Niall, how you doing?
You want to talk to Alan?
I agree completely with Liz. You know, think what you like, right? And in this world, no, hang on, relax. Think what you like, right? And you cannot say that you understand what's in a paedophile's mind.
I have no idea.
You cannot understand anything. No, you can't.
But the only thing I do understand is they're sexually attracted to children. Yes.
No, but Alan said that he can understand what it's like to be in a paedophile's mind. He obviously can't. You can only understand something. No,
you can empathise with a paedophile.
Of course, that's what I just said now.
Jesus Christ.
Because I understand that that's a sexual preference.
Hang on a second. 300 images, right? 200 of were a low level.
Doesn't matter
right?
how many
100 images were of the highest level, right? Of child
What would you
abuse
expect
images.
a paedophile to have? How many? Why would that be surprising?
Now, let's just see the reality. This is 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
Right?
And he had videos as well. I think he had 100 videos, didn't he, or something?
Brought back.
Yeah, I'm sure every paedophile in the world has a pretty similar thing.
This is not,
Why are you surprised
this is not
by
something you want to defend or you know, to win an argument over. This is not even a topic. Like, Jim, it's not called pornography.
It is a topic.
Child abuse images. Call them what they are. Child abuse
and we're
images.
talking about the topic of a paedophile who's sexually frustrated literally every day, can't have sex with any child, so he goes home and he masturbates over a child being having sex with. I think he's doing his best.
He's masturbating over an illegal act of some child in the world, right, that is going to be fucking mentally scarred for the rest of his life, right? And you saying it's okay, you know, that we can't send out a good message to the rest of them to say, hang on a second.
This man was sitting
around in his house, right? And after speaking to abuse victims, a lot of people say, and a few of them do say, they prefer if they had died, right? And this is no word of a lie, because of the lifetime they have to live through. And you're saying it's all right for one man to go at home, to actually look it up on the internet, to spend hours going through it, to go through the whole rigmarole of doing it, to look it up, right, and then just, sit there and have it on his computer.
Yeah, because that would be natural. That's a natural thing for a paedophile to do in this day and age. You can't do anything else. We can't do anything else.
He can think about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with your mind. You know what I mean? If you want to sit there, what's actually okay in the world? What's okay in the world is to think whatever you want to think. That's absolutely fine. But when you take it over the border, right, you take the next step, which is doing something illegal, right, illegal.
How many times have you masturbated over a girl that's illegal?
Downloading it is illegal, right? Plus the fact that the market is there, that there's going to be people out there like him, right, that all these children around the world are being snatched, they're being abused, probably by family members. There's people listening to the show right now who's being abused.
Yeah, we all know that.
And they're listening.
That isn't the point. The point is, many times you masturbated over a girl you saw on the road that day.
Is this your fantasy, is it? Like, is this what you get off on? You've asked every other caller. You've asked every other caller. No, you've asked every other caller.
You're a young man.
This is your fantasy, because this is your thing.
You're a young man.
This is your thing. You know, and your thing is this.
I'm freely admitting that I've done that. So I'm just asking you as a normal man.
This is what you get off on.
No, I don't get off. I just said to you, if you say a beautiful girl, if you're out at night.
What's it to you? What's it to you? You've asked every other caller.
I've asked you to admit that you've jacked off over seeing a girl walking down the road.
Three other people that have been on the same question.
He has jacked off to a girl. That's it.
I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with that, is there? My point is...
Well, I'll be honest with you, Alan, I find that a bit strange. Whatever about looking at pornography and people masturbating, watching pornography, I can honestly say, as a man, I have never masturbated over a girl I saw on the road during the day.
Really? When you were younger, Niall?
No.
Oh, come on.
Alan, see, that's what I'm saying, Niall. He's a bit...
No, come on.
Alan, I'm sorry, I'm not with you. I can't honestly
say. Well, he is. I know he is by his answer there.
No, I'm telling you, Niall, he's a bit touched in the head, that Alan fella. I swear to God, he's touched in the fucking head. I've listened to him loads of times. There's something odd about that fella, I'm telling you. He's a bit of a sexual, twisted, kind of you and shit. I'm telling you now, there's something wrong with him.
What are you talking about, Liz? I'm the most normal person.
You're far from normal, Alan. Let's be clear about that. You're far from normal. Your opinions can be quite depraved sometimes, and I do understand. And I'm not, doubting your level of intelligence. I do believe you have a level of intelligence, but I don't think it kind of chimes in with everybody else's intelligence.
Right, exactly. I'm a bit more open.
You are.
Look at him.
That's all.
Okay, but Dylan, somebody mentioned earlier on it would be better if we took a guy like this, instead of giving him 2.5 years, if we sent him off for counselling.
Jesus.
Would that not be a better option?
I tell you, I don't agree, right? And you know me, I don't agree always in the prison system, right? And I don't believe it solves anything. And I always think that the counselling road, and I think information is the most important. Now, seemingly, according to the case, do you know what I mean, that he was, he showed remorse and all that kind of stuff.
And it's 7 years since the crime committed, and he hasn't really offended since.
Understandable. He could have easily, gone down the dark path, in all fairness, and I always give people the benefit of the doubt. He could have gone down the dark path and then realised what he'd done. The damage is already done. It's taken 7 years to come to light, do you know what I mean? And that's probably what happened in this case. But what it should be is a case that maybe take it out of the legal system, because what's 3 years in prison going to do? Like, you know, he is going to be, you know, worse off in prison. And in reality, I always think that therapy and maybe showing the fact of the reality of what he's looking at, what that man was sitting at home when he decided to go down, you know, onto the dark net and decided to go down that road and had to look up all these things and cover himself and do all the fucking darkness and the sickness that's needed to find these. You can't just go onto Google and look for it. No. You know what I mean? It's a big, long trek. You know, it takes a lot of thought and a lot of... and he was stupid enough to get caught, like, you know. And the problem with that is...
So Alan is saying now, so because you said you're not one for sending him to jail, you don't see what's purpose that would serve, and you believe that it was a moment of weakness and he did something stupid, maybe he regrets it now. Are you having a level of sympathy for him now?
No.
Bit of empathy there, Dylan. I think I sense some empathy on your part, which is what I have. You can admit it, it's okay. You can understand, it's okay to say, I understand where that man is coming from because he's a paedophile. That's okay. No one's gonna put you in jail for saying that. Can you say that?
Dylan, are you still there? Sorry, did I lose you?
Sorry, I'm moving around the house. Sorry. No, you're grand. Sorry.
Can you just say it, Dylan? Can you say you have a level of empathy?
No, repeat it. I got about 2 halves of it.
Sorry?
I got only 2 halves of what you said.
Okay, he wants to know, the fact that you said, you know, you understood he made a mistake in his life, blah, 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 he shouldn't go to jail, it's not going to serve a purpose, that you do believe he should get rehabilitation and education, or counselling. Do you believe, it sounds to me there is a level of empathy then.
Exactly. And I'm saying, congratulating you on that one, Dylan. If you have a little bit of empathy, you can put yourself in the paedophile's shoes and say, you know...
Well, you can't put yourself in the paedophile's shoes unless you're a paedophile, first of all.
But do you have a level of empathy?
No, I've watched a lot recently on paedophiles. Right? I've watched a lot on paedophiles, right, recently. Yeah. Paedophile Next Door, I had the last call, your last caller you had on a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Right, and what we can understand from this is a paedophile is someone who looks at abuse images or doesn't break the law, doesn't look at the images and thinks about it. You might go out and you'd look out during the day and have a fantasy and go home in the evening. There's a big difference between contributing to the illegal...
Then it's okay to say it. I'm saying it, that I have empathy towards him. I'm saying to you, you're allowed to say that. The police won't come around to your house. Empathy meaning that you understand
I don't have
where the other person...
for someone who's going to break the law, right?
No, that isn't what I said.
Child abuse images.
Oh, you see.
Okay, listen, lads, on that note, I'm going to have to wrap it up. Thanks very much to Dylan and Alan as well. Loads of text coming in at 53544. Somebody mentions, I've said a lot of bad things on the air about Alan in the past. I didn't know he was unwell. Give him my regards. That comes in from Frank. Another person says, Niall, can you please get Alan off the air? He's disgusting. Niall, I'm waiting ages to get through on this particular topic. That comes in from Sharon. Sorry, Sharon. Sorry about that. Oops. If they do it once, they'll do it again. Lock them all up and throw away the key. So he says, can you please ask Alan to have manners and let people talk without interrupting? That comes in from Stephen. Another person says, Niall, I have to stop and drive home, on my drive home, and text in regarding the subject at the moment. Cannot believe that Alan fella is defending total scumbags. If he says it's okay for that fella to watch child porn, he is saying it's okay for people to sexually abuse poor defenceless children. What next? You can be in a room when it's happening to the poor child and not go to jail as long as you don't touch them. Feckin' ridiculous. Not right on any level, says Anne in Tralee. Great show. Thanks, Anne Tralee. All right, listen, I want to move on. And I want to talk about Simon Harris, a Minister for Health. Because Simon Harris, this week, of course, is Organ Donation Week. He launched the Organ Donation Week. And he did say that he's working on new legislation going forward for the end of the summer to hopefully bring in an opt-out system for organ donation, or a suggested opt-out system. Ireland currently is one of the countries in Europe that has an opt-in system. We have the lowest rate of organ donations. We have people crying out for organs. We have people dying because we can't get organ donation. We have people on mechanical lungs. We have people getting dialysis on a regular basis, living in hospitals essentially because they can't get an organ, because we don't have enough organ donors. People don't donate their organs. It's too much trouble. That's why people just don't do it. They just don't bother. It's not that they don't want to be organ donors. They just don't bother their arse. They don't bother filling out the forms. They don't bother sending the text to be an organ donor. They don't bother. And it's just too much trouble. And I gave this example before. Could you, and you know, say for a young child, can you imagine being the parents of a 5-year-old child, and he's been in a collision or a car, you know, accident, a car has hit him or something like that, and he's in intensive care and he's brain dead, all right, and he's in intensive care, and you're the mother and father, and you're outside in the waiting room, and the doctor comes out, and he's nodding his head as he's coming out, and your wife goes into hysterics, and you go into hysterics. Your little 5-year-old son has passed away. He's died. There is no right moment for that doctor to say, by the way, can we have his organs? There just isn't a right moment to do that. Now, I'm sure there are trained staff in the hospitals to ask those questions, but ideally, the rest of his body might be fine. All his little organs are perfect. They could save another child's life. But are they going to get them in time? Probably not. Unless you've already signed him up as an organ donor. Now, the opt-out system would mean the doctor wouldn't have to ask you. The child would automatically be an organ donor from the moment they're born, unless you as the guardians opted them out. Or you will, as an adult, will be an organ donor unless you opted out. I want to know, you believe an opt-out system would be good. The only people that seem to object are on religious grounds, because people believe God brings you into the world one way and you should be buried that way with all your bits and pieces. But at the end of the day, they're only bits of meat. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to offend people who have somebody passed away recently, but it's only a bit of meat. That's all you're putting into the ground is the meat. If you believe in God and believe in that, the soul goes to heaven and all that kind of stuff. What you put into the ground is only flesh. Should we introduce an opt-out system whereby you're automatically an organ donor? Yes, we should, or no, we shouldn't. Let me know what you think.
Real people, real opinions, real talk radio. The Niall Boylan Show.
Classic Hits 4FM.
The Damien Farrelly Show, part of the No Repeat Workday.
The big prize this week on the T-Break Teaser is a trip for you and the gang to the Connacht Hotel in Galway, which is the perfect base for your trip to the city. 3 different songs from 3 different decades and more music for your workday, guaranteed. Lots more too. Join me, Damien Farrelly, tomorrow morning from 10 a.m.
The Subway Lunch with the Damien Farrelly Show. Subway, keep discovering on Classic Hits 4FM.
Grab your phone. It's time to change networks. Leica Mobile's Ireland Plus plan is bursting with features at an unbelievably low price. With unlimited calls, texts and a massive 30 gigabytes of data for just €15. What's more, with Leica Mobile, there's no roaming charges for using your phone abroad in a staggering 18 countries. What are you waiting for? To order your free SIM, visit leicamobile.ie. Terms and conditions apply. Leica Mobile. Call the world for less.
A confident new life, a great new look, the best in professional hair transplants, natural looking hair that lasts. You can find all that at MHR Clinic. And now, find MHR Clinic on Grafton Street, conveniently located at the heart of Dublin, delivering honest advice and the latest exclusive treatments to combat hair loss, all at an affordable price and with some treatments that can even be done in a day. MHR Clinic at the top of Grafton Street or mhrclinic.ireland.com.
This year, to celebrate their golden anniversary, Laszlo Jewelers are giving up to 50% off engagement rings and jewellery. Only in store at Laszlo Jewelers, 20 William Street, Galway.
Celebrate the 40th anniversary of Saturday Night Fever with Nights on Broadway. The Bee Gees story live on stage at Dublin's Vicar Street on Easter Sunday, April 16th. Relive the glory days when disco ruled the world and the Bee Gees were its kings. Tickets €30, including booking fees from Ticketmaster outlets nationwide.
ACCA students, you can enroll now for your ACCA at City Colleges. Did you know all our classes in Dublin City Centre are also streamed live online throughout the country? And they're also recorded, so you can quickly catch up at your convenience. Register now at citycolleges.ie. City Colleges. Professional education.
Contour your body with Cool Sculpt at River Medical. Cool Sculpt is the original fat freezing treatment, proven to reduce fat by up to 40% after just one single treatment. The tummy, back, thighs and even under the chin can all be targeted. Restore your body's confidence with Cool Sculpt at River Medical. To book a free consultation, phone River Medical on 01 662 9106 or visit rivermedical.ie.
Niall Boylan at night is controversial and confrontational and may cause offence to some. Listener discretion is advised.
Okay, a lot of people are mentioning here on religious grounds people don't like doing it. Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses, I believe, they don't donate. Do they? Scientologists don't donate organs either, as far as I know. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And I'm almost sure, even with the new legislation, you will still need permission to harvest the organs. Mike, you won't. No, you won't. If we bring in an opt-out system, unless you've opted out, they can harvest whatever they want, Mike. That's the way it works, Mike. It's called opt-out for that reason. And to give you an idea, in places like Switzerland, they have, I think, over 80% organ donation. In Ireland, we're down at like 16% because we have an opt-in system. So we don't have enough organs for, little kids and adults who are dying and waiting in hospitals for years for an organ. It's shocking, absolutely shocking. But the reason Ireland is one of the worst countries in Europe is because predominantly we're a Catholic country, or we always have been anyway. And there's this kind of thinking, religious thinking, that you should go into the ground the way you came out of the womb, essentially. The way God put you on the earth, you should go back into the ground. Because doesn't the priest say that? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and he puts you into the ground as you come into the earth and all that kind of thing. So people believe that it's not right to take people's organs, that you need to bury the whole bloody body. And let's be clear, it's only a body. With the greatest respect, when your loved one dies, if you believe in a God or something like that, they go off to heaven or fairyland or wherever they go. And, your soul or whatever goes somewhere, or whatever they're reincarnated, I don't know, whatever you happen to believe in. But the body, the physical body, it's only a lump of flesh. So that piece of flesh might be useful to somebody else to keep them alive for their loved ones. So what's the problem? I don't see the problem. Text 53544. Should we change to an opt-out system? Shauna, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, Shauna?
Hi, how are you? Not too bad.
Good, Shauna. Do you think we should have an opt-out system? Simon Harris reckons he's going to bring in put forward legislation by the end of the summer.
I do, of course. I do believe we should have an opt-out system. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. I mean, it's people here are needing organs, and it's for the best, I believe.
Okay, I mean, you yourself have your own story as well, and maybe you could just remind our listeners of that, because I think I remember speaking to you before, Shauna.
Yeah, I had a liver transplant in August of 2012.
Okay.
For cystic fibrosis. My liver was just one of many organs affected by CF. And only for that, I wouldn't be alive today.
And were you before you got the transplant, were you on dialysis permanently all the time?
No, I wasn't.
Sorry, that's for kidneys. Sorry, I apologise. Yes, I apologise. Yeah,
no, I had liver failure since I was about 15 years old, and it just rapidly deteriorated. And when I was 19, I was put on the list for a transplant.
Okay.
And I got it when I was 20 years old, so I was about 8 months waiting for it. But those were a tough 8 months,
And you were one of the lucky ones as well, because it doesn't happen for everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah, because that year actually it was a strange year for transplants, because it was mostly the A's and B's livers that were coming in, and I'm blood type O, which is the most common.
Okay.
And there was just no O livers coming in, so
which would be unusual. The A's and B's would be the rarer ones.
It was strange, yeah.
Okay, so you believe that if we had an opt-out system, it would save a lot of people's lives, like yours. It would save a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, it would.
And what do you say to people who believe on religious grounds? Usually, they would say, "Well, I want to go into the ground, or I want my loved one to go into the ground the way they came out," and they believe this is some sort of infringement on their rights by even suggesting this.
I think there's a huge, huge fear among people. Yeah, I definitely agree that religious grounds is where people are caught. But I suppose people need to be informed properly as well by doctors and medical staff that, I don't know, I mean, it's like people are caught between, I suppose, a rock and a hard place. I mean, it is definitely a moral ground issue, but I suppose just have to look past that and see the bigger picture at the end of the day. Like, think about, was your loved one or yourself or somebody, that you really, really cared for.
Yeah.
What's the bigger solution? Like, what's the bigger picture?
And for those who are concerned, if you are concerned, you can opt out. They'll set it up on a website, or they'll set it up somehow.
Yeah, you can opt out. That's the whole thing, is you can opt out.
Okay, well, just do me a favour, stay there, because Marion, you're on Classic Hits. How do you
hang on.
And Marion, you don't agree with it?
Well, I feel like, this thing of it's mentioning legislation like that, I feel that there should be discussions about it, inform people more.
Oh, well, there will be. I mean, it's not going to just come in the summer. They'll put the bells to the doll in the summer,
like how much will they, they'd be, because now we are a Catholic country, and I feel that there will be a lot of people just won't consider it because of religious You know?
Yeah, well, it's not. But the thing about it is, okay. See, this is for the next generation.
Oh, I know.
It's not going to. It's not going to affect you because they can't opt you in automatically now.
Oh, I know that too.
And they can't opt me in, or they can't opt Sean in. So this will be for our next generation. So every child that will be born henceforth will be automatically a donor.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have a problem of that as long as the proper information would be out there, because, as you said, Niall, it's heartbreaking maybe for a family to find themselves in a situation in a hospital and a doctor maybe...
But and you're right, isn't it terrible that Shauna, thankfully she's still with us today and she's in good health, and well, I hope she's in good health and everything is going well for her. But Shauna, she could have died. And, and the day that Shauna could have died, somebody, with healthy liver was being put into the ground. And that just doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's the way I see it now, because I have a card there and I stated, my heart and my lungs and... My
heart would be no use to anybody.
Well, I say one thing, just diverting for a second. 6 years ago there, I had an 8-hour surgery. And I was absolutely devastated because of the fact I had my whole bladder removed. And I researched it. I got my daughter to research it because I couldn't come to terms with it. I found a hospital in America. I rang the doctor and I was all excited, and he said there'd be no problem, we'd rebuild one. Jesus, when I went to my specialist, he just caught the information and threw it aside, and he just said to me, oh, that wouldn't suit you whatsoever. And I said, look, doctor, I said, do you realise how it feels? I said that...
So was it like a bladder transplant you could have got?
Yeah, I could have got one rebuilt in a hospital in America.
They can pretty much do anything nowadays. Well, they can pretty much do anything provided you've got the money. Yeah.
But the point was, when I suggested it to the doctor, I said, look, sure, a bit of God technology here, but they wouldn't have considered it here because of the money part. And therefore, I had to come to terms then with just
dealing with the problem that you had.
Pardon?
Just dealing with, I'm assuming, a colostomy.
Dealing with the situation of just having my bladder removed, because if I didn't, I would have got possible cancer, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, thankfully you're on the mend. Well, when I say on the mend, you're starting to, hopefully you're dealing with it. But getting back to this opt-out system, let me just stay there, please, for a second. And stay there, Sean, too. Let me go. Sorry, I have a bit of a cough tonight. That's why I'm being very quiet tonight. You might have noticed. Donny, you're on Classic Hits. Donny, go ahead. Niall. Yeah, go ahead, Donny.
You know what, Niall? I believe in giving these, like, even though I be a person now, that people would think that I'd be totally against it, because you know where I'm coming from, like, with this, Yeah. I was involved with the...
Oh, that's right, yes. I remember you were telling me you were involved in the scandal in Crumlin Hospital when tissue samples were taken from babies, yeah.
That's right, and I'd be afraid they might do the same thing again by just opting out and things like that,
I think you're looking into it too deeply, because the thing about it is, we will know about it. You didn't know about it at the time. Obviously, there was samples taken, and you didn't know about that at the time,
that's right?
And that was wrong, that something was taken without your permission and without any opting in or out, right? But in this particular situation, you would know the child was opted in, and all you got to do is opt them back out if you didn't want them.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough, because really, I have nothing against that, like, if a person can be saved, No, you were talking about religious. I'd be like yourself there, I wouldn't take too much notice of that,
But it is religious grounds that stops people from doing it all the time. There are people out there who will not donate. I had a woman on the air one night, and I got so angry listening to her. She said she was a very religious person, she would never donate organs, blood, anything. And I said, if you were lying in your hospital bed after being in a car crash and you needed blood, would you accept it? And she said, absolutely, of course I would. I said, how selfish are you? I said, you're willing to accept a transfusion of blood from somebody else, but you wouldn't give any.
Exactly.
And because of religious grounds.
Yeah, I think that should be kind of taken out of it, really, Niall.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe, like, if there's a baby sick and there's someone can help the child, with death, that they should do that, like,
Okay, well, hold on. Can you all hold on, because I have to take another break. You can text us at 53544. Actually, no, I have to go to Greg before the break, have I? Okay, Greg, you're on Classic Hits. How you doing, Greg?
Niall, how you doing?
Greg, would you support an opt-out system?
Oh, jeez, I would, yeah.
Yeah, everybody seems in support of it tonight, thankfully. Yeah.
I tell you why, Niall, right? What am I going to do with all my organs, right, when I'm in the coffin? What am I going to be doing with them?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. There you go. But I don't want to sound out of turn now, right? I do not want to sound out of turn, but I wouldn't like certain people to have my organs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a couple of people I wouldn't like to get my organs either. And one or two of my organs wouldn't be much use to them either, to be honest with you.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I wouldn't like my organs to go to a foreigner now, you know what I mean?
Would you not?
No.
Why?
I just don't like foreigners.
So you'd rather your organs went to an Irish person?
No, an Irish person, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you don't get to choose who they go to.
Well, that'll be my stipulation in agreeing to it, you know.
I don't think they take them on that grounds.
So you would put a stipulation in saying you can have me organs, but they have to go to an Irish person.
Exactly, yes. And I don't want to sound out of turn either.
It's a bit racist, isn't it?
I wouldn't like a traveller to have them either.
Would you not?
No.
You're being very racist now, really, aren't
But that's not being racist now. They're my organs, right? So, in fairness, if I'm going to be giving up my eyes or my liver or my pancreas or whatever else is going on in there that someone needs.
It's your choice, yeah. You can do what you want with them, but it is a bit racist.
We want to give the organ too.
All right, listen, lads, I'm going to have to wrap this up because we're going way over time tonight on topics. Shauna, how are you feeling now, by the way, Shauna? Oh, sorry, I've lost Shauna. All right, okay. Well, hopefully she's feeling well. Sorry, say it again? Okay. Mike, go ahead, you're on Classic Hits.
Hi, how are you now?
Good, Mike, what do you want to say?
I'm totally in favour of it, you know, speaking for someone. I had a liver transplant about 8 years ago, you know, so why wouldn't I be in favour of it, you know?
Yeah, okay, so you'd be happy enough with an opt-out system. So who are all these people who are against it?
I'm not sure. I just think do you know what I think, Niall? In all honesty, you know when they introduce laws and we think, well, we're not going to, like seatbelt laws or the no smoking laws.
Yeah.
And years later, you think, Jesus Christ, you wouldn't dream of getting into a car without putting
do you know the classic example of...
You think that people used to smoke in a pub is absolutely stupid, like, you know, ridiculous. They couldn't have done, you know. We will get so used to it that we won't even think about it.
The best example of laws that people didn't like but now accept very easily is the plastic bags.
It's, as you say, it's criminal. You're not putting a body into the ground with the organs, not harvesting the organs.
It is criminal, you're right.
Your last caller made me laugh a little bit, you know. I mean,
yeah.
I was born in England, and I was wondering if...
no, he's gone. He wouldn't give them to you either.
He wouldn't give them to me, no, it's
no.
Irish. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jesus, it sounds funny.
He wouldn't give them to Donny either, he's in Cork. He wouldn't give him to him either. He wouldn't give him to a Cork man. No, I just said to you a few minutes ago, Mike, the best example of what we thought were bad laws but turned out to be quite good. And I remember at the time talking about the tax they were putting on plastic bags, the 20-cent tax they put on a plastic bag. And I thought, what a ridiculous thing to do. But when I look back in hindsight now, what a wonderful thing to do.
Exactly.
Because I don't see bags blowing all over the street anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was good.
It's like if you, I know you're not a sports fanatic, but if you're a sport, I love those soccer on the TV, you know, and some of the rules they introduced to that, you know, years later you think, like the pass back to the goalkeeper and things like that, you know.
Why, could you never pass back to the goalkeeper before?
You could, yeah, before the law. Now you can only head the ball back to the goalkeeper.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he can, and if you do pass it back to him, he can kick it, but he's not allowed to handle it.
He can't pick it up. Yeah, it's stupid. It's so we become so accustomed to these laws they bring.
But they were kind of, I know nothing about soccer, but they were kind of right to do that, because what that was doing was slowing down the game, because you had silly notions of players passing the ball back and forward to the goalkeeper.
Whether we like it or not, they do make most of these laws for our own good, you know.
All right, listen, I'm going to have to wrap it up. Listen, thanks very much indeed. I appreciate you coming on the air. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Tony as well. Here in the press, Tony, here in the press. All right, is he still there? Tony, you still there?
Oh, I am, yeah.
Now, Tony, when was the last time you sold a newspaper, by the way, Tony?
I'm still selling them.
Are you still doing them?
Oh, I'm still selling them, yeah.
And you're still in the same place?
Not really, but that's still like other auctions that keep you going, you know.
No, right, okay. Where would you sell them now?
I'd be out in Douglas.
Echo!
6 o'clock.
Selling the Echo?
Yeah.
And what's the biggest selling newspaper in Cork now? It is the Echo, is it?
It would be the Evening Echo, yeah.
Yeah. And what other ones are big sellers?
But they're a dying trade too, Niall.
Newspapers, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going very fast.
And have you noticed a huge decline, say, even just in the last 5 years?
Oh, yeah, you could see them. They're a dying trade, you could see it, like, you know.
And when you say dying now, are we looking at half the amount of papers now than there was 5 years ago, or less?
Or even less, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know,
see, the problem is, and my kid said this to me recently, I used to love getting a few of the newspapers on a Sunday morning, right? Sitting down, having a bit of breakfast and reading through the newspapers, right? But I don't really do it now. But I remember a while ago there, I think I bought the Daily Mail and the Express or something else, right? And I was sitting there reading them. And my son is 21, came out to me, he says, what are you doing? I said, I'm reading the newspaper. I'm reading the newspaper. He says, for what? He said, I read it all yesterday on the Journal. And he's kind of right. You can read all this online
you can, yeah,
the day before.
No, yeah.
So the newspapers are pretty useless the next day. All they are is opinion pieces.
Yeah, but there's some places in America now, they're giving them out free just for the advertising for them, you know.
I got an Irish independent free to my front door there. One fellow called one day trying to get people to buy it, obviously, and they give you a free copy just to get you used to it, to like it.
That's right, yeah. They were giving them out down Cork too, the independents free.
Yeah. All right, listen, thanks very much indeed. Echo. All right, there you go. That's Stoney. He sells the Echo. It's been years selling newspapers. Okay. Now, joining me in the studio is Aisling and also Helena.
Hello. Hi.
I apologise, Lena, tonight for not keeping the show going as well as I should and not talking as well as I should, but I've got a really bad sore throat and cough tonight.
I know.
But look at me, Trojan. I'm still here.
Do you know what? I was going to have sympathy until you started sympathising for yourself. That stops my sympathy.
I'm Trojaning away.
Trojaning away. Is Trojaning the right word? Is that not a condom?
No, that's not even a word. I just
condom, isn't it a Trojan?
What?
Is that not a condom in America?
It is a condom. Actually, it's a condom here in Ireland too. There's Trojan condoms, yeah.
There's like bulls on them or something.
What?
There's a picture of a bull on it.
How do you know?
I just thought. I would know that sort of
Ribbed
thing.
for your pleasure. Extra thin for sensitivity.
You know a lot of these.
I know way too much. They do them in different sizes too. Small, medium, large and spoofer.
Yeah, small, eh?
All right, well,
small?
No.
Yeah, really.
No, I just use a crisp wrapper. All right, now, so what are we going to talk about? First of all, have you got a fact for the day?
Not yet.
You slipped up badly because Gareth was straight in the door last night with his fact of the day.
Is he robbing my thing for?
Yeah, he just robbed your thing.
Robbing my thing.
He robbed your thing.
Anyway, what I want to talk about is irrational fears, all right?
Okay.
As you know, I had a freak out before the show.
Yep.
It is coming out. The clown movie.
It's
being
I
redone.
saw that.
I don't know why anyone would decide to do that. I mean,
Great.
it was horrifying
Amazing.
the first time around, and now they're going to do it again. I'm constantly tagged on Facebook in the trailer. Terrifying stuff. This disgusting, creepy-looking clown staring me in the face is going to happen for weeks on end now until this movie comes out. But that's my irrational fear. So what I want to talk about is irrational fears. Maybe one you had as a child. Maybe one like me you still have as an adult. It won't go away as much as you try. Irrational fears. 53544 for 20 cents. Spiders is another one for me.
You're actually one of my irrational fears.
It's just cruel. Do you have nightmares about me?
I do sometimes.
No way. What am I doing? Am I killing you?
No, you're not killing me.
What am I doing?
You're just giving out.
And that's like every day.
You have a scorpy head on you.
Every day.
Yeah. Do you have any irrational fears, Aisling?
I don't know if it's irrational though.
Give us it. We'll determine.
Right. I am constantly scared of being abducted.
That's irrational.
It's irrational.
Do you think so? Because
Yeah, well, when was the last time a guy was abducted?
A guy was abducted.
Well, anybody being abducted, when was the last time? It's not a regular occurrence in this
Even like walking from... I just always think that someone's following me or something. Like even walking from Starbucks down here, I was just thinking that someone's like,
do you know what?
Going to happen.
Aisling, your fear started out as in I started to go, that's not really that irrational. But then when you started going, I think people are following me.
Yeah.
Then I was like, irrational fear.
But there could have been somebody just walking behind you.
Yeah, but then you're just, I don't know, maybe it's good to be aware.
I don't like
you
people
never
walking
know.
behind me. Now, I have to be honest, I'm with you on the walking behind
Yeah.
thing. But no, it's not
Right
their
behind
fault. It's not their fault. They just happen to be
True,
walking
yeah.
in the same direction.
Yeah.
My daughter does that to me. Now, my daughter can be rational because she's dyspraxia. But she does that. You're walking behind and she goes, stop following me. And I'm going, I just happen to be walking in the same room as you. Leave me alone. I live here.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't like people who walk in my personal space.
Mm.
You know, like when Niall, you know what,
stop
Niall?
that
You're
bullshit.
you're one of these people, right? All out in the open tonight. You're one of these people. Me and you be walking out when we go into the shop or something before the show, and all of a sudden your shoulder hits mine. I'm like, oh, you're very close to me right now. And then you don't mean to do it. Niall, don't come near me. Don't. Why do you do this to me? Don't hug me. I hate it.
He's poking her.
He's such personal space. But yeah, you're one of these people. You don't even mean to do it. Sometimes you stumble over yourself and shoulder me, and I'm like, what are you? You all right there?
That's all right. That's okay. We're pals. Pals do things like
Pals.
that. Pals
I agree.
do.
Pals. And we're not friends. They're just
Aw.
pals. There's a difference.
There
You don't know
is,
that?
yeah, there
A
is.
pal is like an acquaintance. You're like, ah, yeah, it's a pal.
That's my mate. Like
My friend is like Hunzo for life.
Hunzo for life.
Yeah, we Hunzo for life. We're friends. Or just
No, I'm
pals.
not using the Huns. That's too intimate.
Hunzo for life.
No, we're just pals. We're just pals for life.
We're just acquaintances for life.
Acquaintances for life, pals for life. There's no Huns. Huns is kept for certain people in your
Ashling,
life.
do you want to be my Hunzo for life?
I would, yeah.
Thank you.
I would.
I'll be Ashling.
You've been replaced.
I'll be Ashling's Hunzo.
Oh,
Be my Hunzo.
What?
You won't
No,
be
I'll
my
be
Hunzo.
Ashling Hunzo.
Bet your listeners to be my Hunzo. 53544. I'm soliciting myself. I need a Hunzo.
All right, okay, so now we're asking people for your irrational fears.
Irrational
spiders
fears, yeah.
is probably the man. Can we leave spiders aside?
Yeah, well, I already mentioned spiders. That is one of mine. Yeah.
Oh, Spider-Man.
No, that's not Spider-Man. That's Spider.
Spider-Man.
That's Big Spider. There was a story. Oh, terrifying, right? There was a story. A bit dramatic, Lena, calm down. There was a story online.
You are getting a bit dramatic now over nothing, probably. And I'm going to be really disappointed by the story, but go on.
There's a story online today about this girl who went to sleep, right? Mm-hmm. No dramatics about that. But she got bitten by a false widow spider. Couldn't walk, couldn't open her eye, and it was bruised.
Good Lord. No.
Spiders are not an irrational fear. They're very
So
rational.
she had sleep paralysis.
No.
I heard a radio show today talking about sleep paralysis for nearly 40 minutes. I nearly had sleep paralysis listening to it. It was the most boring radio I've ever heard in my life. I genuinely nearly fell asleep in the car.
I know there's some listeners here going, we know what you're talking about.
I just tuned in for 5 minutes just to have a listen to see what they're talking about. And I heard this clown talking about sleep paralysis. And I'm going, who gives a shit? Like, I'm sorry if you happen to have sleep paralysis, but who gives a shit?
That's really dangerous when you're driving because you could have fallen asleep listening to that.
Jesus, like, you know what I mean? You might as well be talking about who puts the bins out.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know, yeah. Who
Or
does
what's
put the bins
in
out?
the bins? What's in the bins?
What's in your bin?
Who puts the bins out? I do.
What's in your
Actually,
bin?
no, I don't always. I do most of the time, but I have to be instructed.
Do you want
I'm usually told, no, it's the green and the black one tonight, and I go out and put them out. But yeah, my wife would normally bring them back in next
You need
morning.
to find out you need to be getting what in my
Men
house.
put bins out.
In my house, the bin's just out there.
It's not just
we
out
don't know
there.
who does it.
Somebody-
The bin pixie does it.
Your dad
The
does
bin-
it.
Dad doesn't do it.
Your
Dad
dad
doesn't
does do it. Your dad does do it.
There's the bin.
Who does
Oh,
it in
it's
your
my
house,
bin.
Aisling? Who does the bins?
Des, my dad. Des.
Oh, we're on first
We're
name
first name
terms.
basis.
Hey, there's something. I've never called him, since my dad was 83 or 82 and he died there about 3 years ago, right? I never called him Frank.
Really?
Never.
No, sometimes when I'm mad.
Never
at my
called my
dad,
mother Lily. That was her name, Lily.
Yeah.
Never called her Lily. It was Mum and Dad. Always Mum and Dad.
Yeah.
There's a thing about, I just find that, I'm not saying you're disrespecting your father, by the way, by saying
no,
it.
well, sometimes.
But I do believe with children nowadays, young children calling their parents by their first name, I think there's a lack of respect there or authority.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Am
I wrong?
No, I completely agree. If I call Jesus.
Jeez.
I'd be
Have you always called your dad Des?
No. I call him daddy.
All right, okay, but you call him Des as well.
Well,
Hey, Des.
odd time. Or like, if,
Is he
if
listening
you're
right now?
messing, No, I don't know actually, but if I mess, how are you, Desi? Because he's from Longford and stuff. He loves
All right.
that kind of thing.
We from Longford, we all have our crosses to bear. Text 53544. That's 53544. We want to know, what are your irrational fears?
Real people, real opinions, real talk radio. The Niall Boylan Show.
Classic hits 4FM.
Gareth O'Callaghan in the afternoon.
Thursday at 3, that's where we'll be, giving you a chance all week to explore the best of Canada this coming summer with ASL Airlines direct from Dublin. Just for laughs will be worth €330. We play it at 4:40. As usual, lots to win and an afternoon packed with your favourite classic hits. Please join me Thursday just after 3.
With the Tesco Community Fund, over €2 million donated to local causes chosen by you. Classic hits 4FM.
The penalty for mobile phone use whilst driving has been increased to 3 points and a €60 fine. That's because mobile distraction can impair your judgment and reaction time as much as driving under the influence. There is no legal limit for mobile phone use, as just one call or text could be deadly. It won't kill you to put it away. From the Road Safety Authority and An Garda Síochána.
A confident new life, a great new look, the best in professional hair transplants, natural looking hair that lasts. You can find all that at MHR Clinic. And now, find MHR Clinic on Grafton Street, conveniently located at the heart of Dublin, delivering honest advice and the latest exclusive treatments to combat hair loss, all at an affordable price and with some treatments that can even be done in a day. MHR Clinic at the top of Grafton Street or mhrclinikireland.com.
Some Easter eggs are a bit boring and empty.
Others are packed with exciting surprises, just like Easter breaks. And an Easter break at the 4-star Salt Hill Hotel has something for everyone. Located on one of Europe's longest promenades and the breathtaking Wild Atlantic Way. Choose one of the Salt Hill Hotel's great value adult or family Easter packages, starting from just €129 per person sharing. Visit salthillhotel.com today or call 091 522 711.
Celebrate the 40th anniversary of Saturday Night Fever with Nights on Broadway. The Bee Gees story live on stage at Dublin's Vicar Street on Easter Sunday, April 16th. Relive the glory days when disco ruled the world and the Bee Gees were its kings. Tickets €30, including booking fees from Ticketmaster outlets nationwide.
City Colleges is now enrolling for its range of exciting 10-week diploma programs in criminology, cognitive behavioural therapy, family history, ABA autism, psychology, digital marketing and Garda studies. Our exceptional lecturers and world-class online resources will ensure you have an enjoyable and enlightening educational experience. Programs are delivered on one evening per week from Dublin City Centre and online throughout the country. Log on to citycolleges.ie to register. City Colleges, professional education.
Hi, I'm Barbara and this is Crack Agus Ceol on Classic Hits 4FM. Is an chéadlá mí Marta 1957 a hína the Everly Brothers le Cadence Records. Agus hafid siad Bye Bye Love.
Bye bye love, bye bye happiness, hello loneliness, I think I'm gonna cry.
Bhí orna cúil teart na Shania in music Shaska Cúig a chócha ord ever at sea. The Price of Love.
Wine is sweet and gin is bitter. Drink all you can, but you won't forget her.
The Everly Brothers a bhí budaithe in Nashville sna Cuigadí agus Shaskadí. Isaac Donald, no Don, agus Philip Phil. A bhí elected isteach in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1980 agus an Country Music Hall of Fame in 2001.
I think it's been a good thing. Rock and roll's been good to us. I hope it's been good to you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Calú Phil, Steve Leonogin and in 2012. Anish is féidir the Everly Brothers experience. Fósa all Bill Erstache, Bert Stuhut, agus Bonna Ceol, the Bird Dogs. Féisi de Canada, Las Vegas, New York, go leor áitrí America, Philippines, agus is cosúil go bhfuil siad fear popular. Sinné Crack Agus Ceol Classic Hits 4FM.
Niall Boylan at night is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, keep texting 53544. Okay, we're not talking about irrational fears. Can I mention another irrational fear I
Go
have?
for it, yeah.
Dirty bras.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, ladies.
I think that's rational. I don't think that's
dirty
irrational.
bra
Go on.
straps. You know that you see girls during the summer and they might have a t-shirt on and you can
Yeah.
sort of see the bra straps at
I was
the
just checking mine. Go on.
and they've washed them, so, you know, in a different wash, and instead of being white, they're kind of off-white, grey colour.
Or like navy.
No, they're not navy.
I've seen navy ones before, like white.
Yeah,
bra straps
just
with
dirty.
navy.
They're just
Yeah.
I'll
you know,
explain this to you if you
or
want.
discoloured even. They're just. It looks nasty.
Yes, I agree. It's false tan.
That is it. That's exactly
Well,
what
stop putting your
Try and be a
false
woman.
tan
right?
on after you put your bra on.
Try being a woman.
Put your false tan
you
on
lash
first.
on that false tan, you're like, oh, I look good. And then you stick on your brand new white bra and it
Who
becomes
puts your false tan on you?
Me.
I put it on me, missus.
On her back.
I rub it on our boobs and everything.
No, there's a knack
I enjoy
to
that bit. I rub it on our boobs.
There's a knack to putting it
she
on
keeps
your
going,
back.
I don't want any more of my boobs now. Can you stop? I said, it's okay. I'll keep doing it for you. It's okay. I don't want any more. Just do me back. Okay, I'll do your boobs from the back behind.
No, there's a knack to doing your back by yourself.
Okay.
Been in this situation. Get a spatula, stick on the mitt, stick on the tan, down the back. There you go, your back's done.
That is brilliant. That is
A
brilliant.
spatula.
With a spatula.
Why would you do that when you
Lads,
have me?
Important, ladies.
would
Ladies,
you
if
do
you're
that when you have
listening.
me?
Ladies, if you're listening. Plastic spatula. Tried it with a steel one. Not pleasant.
Did the boobs last night. Look fine.
Did they?
They were shining. They were so tanned.
I'd say they were, yeah. Farmer Claire texted in, by the way, about her irrational fear. She said, when I'm in the bank or the post office queue and someone behind me keeps getting closer till they're almost on my back and I can feel them breathing down my neck. It drives me mental. It's not like the queue is going to move any faster if they climb on top of me. Jesus, says Farmer Claire. I agree. I don't like when people breathe on me. Right? And it's always, yes, There's always that person when you're on public transport.
Garlic breath, people.
There's always that person on public transport. They're either sitting behind you or they're sitting beside you, right? And they breathe heavily. And it's the ones behind you are the worst because you can just feel it, like your hair just moves. You just feel it on your neck. Many a times I want to turn around and say it. I haven't done it yet. Maybe one of the days I'll plug up the cover to say stop breathing on me. But I think it's going to sound very diva-like.
Sean said balloons. Ever since he was a young age. My dog has a fear of balloons.
Really?
Yeah. But mind you, we have to keep it away. Can I recommend to everybody with a dog, don't let them play with balloons.
Really?
No, it's very dangerous.
Why?
Because they burst them and then they eat the rubber and the rubber gets caught in their throat and they
You
die.
have to grab it before they burst it.
Yeah, so that's you have to be very careful.
My
But I guess
dog has
dog has a fear of them anyway. If I put the balloon here, she runs away.
My dog has a fear, but it's not very politically correct. I don't know if I can actually say it.
What? Foreigners?
Not Irish people, yeah.
How does she know?
I don't know. We'll be walking her down the street.
Willy Wonka her down the street?
We'll be walking her down the street. We pass Johnny and we pass Mary. Not a bother on her. We pass someone who's not from Ireland. And
Amir.
She freaks out. She either barks like crazy or whimpers behind me.
Are you sure she wasn't previously owned by Podrick or something like that?
Possibly.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like, it's really, I swear.
She's a racist dog.
And I
You have a racist
I have
dog.
a racist dog, and I'm really upset about it. And it's very embarrassing because I
Somebody
constantly
obviously
have to
trained the dog.
apologise.
Yeah.
No, honestly.
Is one of the small horns racist?
No, not at all. No, we're not at all. What?
Where did you get the dog?
She got it off. She bought it online off the Ku Klux Klan.
we have her since she was a pup, like since she was born. So I don't know where she got this from. She is very white, very fluffy. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it or not. But
So is she? So it's
I
not
have
actually
a
people.
racist dog.
It's not people just for an accent. It's black-skinned people.
Kind of, yeah.
That's a racist dog.
I have a racist dog. I'm very upset about it, to be honest, because I don't want Bella to be racist. And I tried to train her.
Some dogs do have a problem with colours, certain colours.
Like, she's just...
Yeah.
It's very... She also hates the ice cream man, but that's okay.
She hates what?
The ice cream man.
All right, okay.
My God, does she hate him. But...
My dog hates birthdays.
Birthdays?
Yeah, she hates you singing happy birthday. She goes bonkers when you sing happy birthday. Can't sing happy birthday. You have to put the dog out of the room for singing happy birthday to the kids or anything like that.
awful.
The dog has to be put out of the room because the dog just goes spare.
So you've just got a
Happy
cranky
birthday.
dog. I've got a racist dog. Have you got a dog, Ashley?
No, but I had a cat once, okay? And cats hate when you stick like pieces of paper, like a piece of sellotape, a piece of paper onto the back of their tail. Because when they switch their tail, it goes...
Oh, okay.
And they go crazy.
That sounds like it's torture.
Up the curtains and everything. That one ran away now.
Yeah, I believe,
I can imagine so.
I believe it's the same effect if you get an elastic band and put a firework on their tail.
Yes,
Just-
that's cruelty.
That's what someone said in the air one night, didn't they?
Controversially, I don't think it is a word.
Not that we suggest you
I don't like cats.
Really?
I'm
I've two
putting it
cats.
out there now.
I have two.
I went
But
to
they're not mine,
visit a
they're feral.
cat. I went to visit a cat recently. Well, I was visiting.
How do you visit a cat?
I was visiting.
There's
I was
about
visiting-
20 cats in the car park downstairs. You want to come down and visit them?
I was visiting friends. They had a cat. It's more like I should have said his name was Pedro, and Pedro was terrifying.
Pedro.
Absolutely terrifying. I was telling Niall about this actually. I was sitting on the couch, right? And she says, "You're all right with animals?" And I said, "Yeah." And I was rubbing Ralph the dog. "Oh, Ralph, you're amazing. I love you. You're so cute." And then Pedro's staring at me. And my friend turns around and says, Helena, don't make any sudden movement. And I said, don't make any sudden movement.
I'm doing an impression of Pedro.
No, Pedro was like, but he was like, don't make any sudden movements. And I was like, why? Pedro's about to attack. I was like, why? Oh God. So I sat there, not moving a limb, not a muscle, not nothing. And she's like, no, he'll be okay. He'll be all right in a minute. And then Pedro decides to walk over to me and walk underneath and in between my legs. And I'm like,
They do that. They walk around your leg. and
Yeah.
They rub off you.
yeah, that's exactly it. It was a disgusting feeling as well. And I was like, Pedro's over
There's
and off me.
nothing
Pedro's over and off
disgusting.
me.
There's nothing disgusting about that. That's what cats do.
No.
They
it's
rub
like,
off you
I
and then they
wanted
rub
to-
their whole tail along you and then they wee on your leg. And somebody says, hi Niall. Niall is afraid to be Hunzo's BFF. He's scared of getting too close to another one like Siobhan after she left. Don't take it personally. The man is just hurting. Hug him. Says Big Pat.
Big Pat. I've been here a while.
Siobhan's gone a while and Helena has always been here anyway. Somebody says, I'm scared of life in prison is not an irrational fear. That's very rational. I would hate to think you'd spend the rest of your life in prison.
Somebody else has daddy long legs and sitting beside strangers on public transport. Have
Why
you
are you
ever?
sitting beside strangers?
No, when strangers sit beside you. Have you ever that moment where you're on a public transport? Niall, I know you're not on it very often,
If she's
right?
good looking, I don't mind.
No, but you're sitting there, right? The bus is fairly empty.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
happy
yeah.
days. I'm going to grab the whole chair, throw my bag up. Great. And some guy comes down, or girl, and sits right beside you. And you're looking around at those empty chairs going, why did you sit beside me?
I do that.
You're that. Why are you that person?
Because if I go upstairs or if I'm on a bus and I see someone sitting by themselves and there's loads of empty seats, I just think I don't want them to think that I don't like them for no reason, just by looking at them. So I'm going to go sit.
So you're not
beside
judging.
them.
You're
No,
non-judgmental.
exactly. And then, like, if a free seat, you know, when a free.
But would
seat
you look,
empties up-
if you're looking up and they say there's about 4 or 5 empty seats, single empty seats with
Yeah.
people, will you look for who looks like the least dangerous person?
Probably, yeah, because I have that irrational fear of being kidnapped. But
A bus journey for you must be awful.
sometimes it's not
And then I'm
there.
being followed down the bus.
Yeah.
I just have this idea of Asher Bird up going, I have to sit beside someone, I don't know who it is. He looks scary, she looks scary. You.
That's exactly how it goes. Exactly how it goes.
Somebody says this is my favourite radio show. Anyway, but hearing Niall call that little, from the other radio station, the clown, just made my day. 4FM for life. Also, I have an irrational fear of stairs. I'm 29 and still can't walk up a spiral staircase. That I'm being abducted. I feel like I'm being abducted by aliens. I know it sounds retarded, but that's why it's called an irrational fear, I suppose. Question: how do you get a nun pregnant? Dress her up like an altar boy.
Oh, God. Come on.
I'm sure that's his
Come on.
joke.
I know.
It's obviously quite an offensive joke, but it's his
Very
joke.
offensive joke. It is.
He just thought he'd throw it in at the end, but he has an irrational fear of aliens, being abducted by aliens.
Yeah, and walking up a spiral staircase.
I'll be honest with him about the
Spiral.
spiral staircase, right? I have a bit of a thing about it, okay? And I mentioned my daughter has dyspraxia. We went up to Belfast. There's a shopping centre. I think it's called Victoria Square.
Victoria Square, yeah, it is.
There's this huge, massive spiral staircase that runs right up the centre, and it's like it goes up about 5 stories to this place where it's an observation tower where you can look out across the city.
Yeah.
My daughter, we got the lift up. We decided we'd walk down. What a mistake!
Oh,
Because
no.
she's dyspraxia, she's a problem with spatial awareness. She got like 3 or 4 steps down, stopped, started crying, screaming, tried to help her get away from me.
Oh no.
Nobody could assist her. This other man came over too. He said, "You okay? Calm down, calm down." No, couldn't. 2 people. We had to lift her down to the next level and get onto the lift.
No way.
She got really, really bad on it because it's that fear of walking around as you're going down.
In fairness to her, though, going up is not that bad, but going down is a lot harder.
Advice: always stay on the widest part of the step because the step gets wider and narrower. Always stay in the widest part of the step.
Have you ever fallen down one of those before?
No.
I have.
Yeah.
For some reason, the shop in Liffey Valley, which remain nameless, that has one of those. No, it's not spiral, but it's slightly spiral. You know, you wouldn't be. You wouldn't.
New look.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
New look. That's the one.
That's the one. Anyway, they have these
Did
stairs.
you fall? Did you claim?
I didn't claim, no, but I didn't actually. I had one of those embarrassing falls that you catch yourself halfway through. So I went and caught myself
On your heels.
Yeah, I caught myself on the banisters. Ever since then, wide part. If there's someone on the wide part, I will wait till they move.
Well, you would imagine the shop, New Look, would be more conscious of people falling because, in their point of view, if
Terrifying.
people fall, there's a claim.
Yeah, because the stairs made them fall. But oh my god, yeah, very terrifying.
I'm terrified of thunder and lightning. Oh my God, I am a little bit scared of thunder and lightning too. I'll be honest with you. Mind you, since I went to America and Florida, I kind of get used to it.
Sing the Ted song. Thunder, thunder, here
Oh,
we roar.
yeah.
F you thunder.
You can
You can
kiss
suck
me.
my mip.
That's the one, yeah. No, I have an irrational fear of lying on my back when in bed because when I was around 12 years of age, I was asleep and in my bed facing upwards. And for some reason, I raised my arm up and held it there while still sound asleep. My brother saw me and tapped me on the shoulder. This has to be a joke. I woke up and my hand immediately dropped straight down and broke my nose. I genuinely don't think I've laid down on my back
holding a
since.
brick or
I'm
something?
33.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Do you ever be lying in bed? We'll come back to your text in a second, but do you ever be lying in bed and you're on your phone or your tablet, bang, on the nose.
In the face.
In the face.
Do you ever get that?
Yeah.
There's nothing more embarrassing.
You fall
than that.
asleep.
So sore.
No, you don't even fall asleep. No, your
you
hands.
drop it.
Yeah, you're just being generally clumsy and you're there and you're texting next thing in the face.
Your hands just decide, not working anymore.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Bang. Phone in the
I've often
nose.
fallen asleep on it. I'd be looking at it. I'd be so tired, and then just feel it hit my face. I go, I need to stop this now, because I normally what I do is before I go asleep at night. Do you think we'd stop working at some point? I'd start looking through the journal or the mail online on my phone before I go to bed. Everything on this planet is a load of bollocks to somebody. Okay, lovely. Thanks for sharing that.
Controversial.
Yeah, lorries without suspension, their cabins look like disproportionately big, and I think it's going to topple over, says Anna. Yeah.
Larry's frightened me anyway.
I'm not a truck driver, obviously, right? But you know when you see, do you know when you see like the Scanias or whatever the Hynos or whatever they're there, and they've no trailer on them, right? So they're kind of like real tall.
Yeah.
How do they not topple over?
On a windy day.
No, they're more likely to topple over on a windy day if they've got a trailer on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know when they put on the brake, how do they not go when they put the brake on? How do they not go forward? Because it's all at the front and it's tall and big. There's nothing at the back.
I think it's called equilibrium.
Ooh,
look at you.
I
I'm
learned
leaving the
this in
studio now. The intelligence level has just got up in this.
The junior sir taught me this, and this is why buses don't topple over either. It's a thing called equilibrium. It's in the centre and it balances everything. I have no idea how it works, but I think that's the word.
I thought you were going to share.
I've always wondered with a bus, the double at the top. Now I'm going to take the intelligence level.
Well, they
way
do. They
down
do
now.
topple over now and again. They have.
Stop. No,
But I've always
not here.
wondered, if everyone sat on the left, what would happen? Would it just
that would
on a
be
windy day?
But on a plane, it does make a big difference.
You have to be on both sides. Well, obviously you're
they have to
flying.
balance out a
that's
plane. They do. I mean, if there's not that many passengers on the plane, the hostesses or host, let's not be sexist, the cabin crew walk down and they will move people around to spread them around the plane.
If it's not full. I've never been on a plane that's not full. But speaking of airplanes, this texter says airplanes. I have a fear of bad hold on a second.
Oh, turns.
Thank you. Bad, whatever they're called. This guy doesn't know what's called either.
Is it turns?
Airplanes. Turbulence. That's what I'm trying to say.
Is it turrets?
Turrets.
Yeah, I was about to say turrets.
Airplanes have a fear of bad turbulence. I'm going on holiday. My first since 3 years ago. When my first time on a plane, it would be 24 hours flying this time. He'll be grand. Turbulence is actually not that bad. Going through.
You don't mind her. If there's a lot of turbulence, it means you're going to crash.
No, you won't. You'll be absolutely
You will. You're
fine.
going down.
If that oxygen comes down, start to worry. But other than that, you're grand.
And you know the old recovery position? Put your head down between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye.
And listen to the cabin crew.
Yeah, do you
No
remember
one listens
What was
to
that
them.
joke? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of a problem at the moment, a bit of a turbulence. You might have noticed we're flying at 5,000 feet. If you look out the right-hand window, and you see a little dinghy in the water. That's me and the co-pilot. We're already out.
Good luck to you all.
A lot of people are actually terrified of thunder and lightning, aren't they?
Yeah, but do you know what I was going to mention? I was coming on to something about the airplane. My irrational fear going through an airplane is airplane security. Absolutely no reason to
The American ones can be dodged. The
All of
Homeland
them.
Security. No, the ones in America, they can be. I was coming through. Sorry, I'm sniffling now and everything. I have a cold. I'm falling apart at the seams here. But the American security, I was going through, and I had a lighter in my pocket, right? So as I get close to the guy from Homeland or whatever, the security, the NSA, as you get close to them, right? There's signs everywhere. No bottles, no this, no that, no extinguishers, no rockets, no guns. And I see the sign.
No rockets, no guns. They need signs for that?
And I see this sign, no lighters, and it had like a picture of fuel and lighters. So I took out my lighter, and took out with the lighter, and I went, shit, what am I going to do with it? Like, and there was nowhere to put it. There was no bins. I said, I don't want to get nabbed for this thing, right? So I said to the guy, I just walked over to the guy from the NSA, and I said, sorry, I've got a lighter. And he went, sorry, sir, I cannot touch that. It's a prohibited item. And I went, I'm well aware it's a prohibited item. That's why I'm asking you what I should do with it. Sorry, sir, you need to dispose of that immediately. It's a prohibited item. You cannot be here with a prohibited item. I go, the guy just went erratic on me, like, you know what I mean? I thought he was going to take it off me. I thought he would have taken it off me and thrown it in the bin. But no, he couldn't touch it. I cannot touch that, sir. It's a prohibited item.
That's the best thing ever. Do you ever go through those things though? You know, the big body things they have.
Where you have to put your hands up on your head.
Yeah, and I had to go through one of those.
Did you ever
right?
watch the screen?
When I came out,
You can see
I
Mickey's.
saw where
You can see Mickey's. You can see everything.
Stop.
You can.
Wait, like a CAT scan?
I can't see Rory.
No, it's not. It's the X-ray machine where you put your hand up and the thing spins around you. Like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Watch the screen.
No way.
You can see Mickey's.
I didn't
and
know
you
that.
can see things, boobs and things.
Stop.
Yeah.
He made me do it
You see the
twice.
shapes of them.
Now you know what?
Yeah, and somebody was when Alina was in it. Somebody was standing in front of the screen going, "Nothing to see here, nothing to see." Yeah.
But when I went through it, right?
I'm joking, Alina. You know I'm joking. I love you.
Can that young boy please cover himself up?
Who put the boy in the X-ray machine?
When I did go in, right? I
There's a
had
child
Converse
in the
on.
X-ray machine.
John, can you be forward, please, to Lena? When I went through, I had Converse on, and the only thing they came out and they're like, "Can you step aside, please?" I was like, "Oh shit!" And they were doing the whole, me up you. What's it called?
What?
X-ray.
What this mean?
A portable X-ray.
It's not a portable X-ray. It's like a sonic device, isn't
Thank
it?
you, that's why I
Detector,
said-
metal detector.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Why did you not get that? You should have understood that.
Yeah.
And anyway, they were like, "Oh, can you take off your shoes?" I was like, the Converse. Like, they're not hiding anything in these. They made me take my shoes off. And then went down to my feet. You can see there's nothing there.
You might have had something between your toes.
Yeah,
you might have been hiding something between your toes.
And then, all right, go on, love, on you go. It was such a waste of time.
I've had numerous happens in America. Another time I was coming home, so I thought they would have been just glad to get rid of me. But I was coming home and they stopped me. So, routine check, sir. Can you take off your shoes? Took off his shoes, and off he went, start swabbing them, and then he called me over and said, "Sir, I need to search you. I need to frisk you down." And he showed me this thing. They hand you this sign that you agree. You read it and you have to agree to it, you know. And he goes and he starts frisking me. "Sorry, sir, this is routine. Can you tell me where you were this morning?" And I said, "I came from this house we rented to the airport, straight to the airport." "Did you stop anywhere on the way, sir?" And I went, "No." And he says, "It's just we're detecting explosives from your shoes." I go, "Explosives in my shoes?" I said, "I only bought them in Skechers 4 days ago." And he says, "Sorry, sir, it's just routine. This happens quite often. Have you been anywhere near explosives?" And I almost felt like saying, "Yeah, well, I was making a couple of bombs yesterday. I could have been pinned to the ground by 20 people." And I said, "No." And he goes, "It's okay, sir. Did you walk through grass?" And I went, "I think most people do at some point, yeah."
Possibility.
And I said, "You want to walk through the garden of the house, Warren?" "That's probably it, sir. There could have been some, fertilizer on the grass." Fertilizer shows up as explosives.
Stop.
Yeah. So it was
They are a little bit like, to be fair, in Dublin Airport, they understand, in my opinion.
In Dublin Airport, they couldn't give a shite. You could walk through with a Kalashnikov over your shoulder and nobody would even notice.
They're good at they're good at their job, right? They know
they're not.
But no, let me.
You haven't a lot.
They give you a bit of leeway, but like, you know. Like, for example, I was going over, right?
Leeway's no good when the plane is going down. But I gave her a bit of leeway. Shit.
Let me explain myself. So I was going over to England and I had a bottle of perfume. Now, in my thoughts, right, you can only have 100 mils, right?
Yeah.
The bottle didn't have 100 mils of liquid because I'd used it. So I was like, should be grand. So I have that out, and your man in Dublin Airport says, "You can't really bring that." And I went, "It's my favourite."
Did you flash your eyelashes on?
A little bit, right?
Okay.
And I went, "But it's my favourite. Like, you know, I really don't want to leave it behind." And he went, looked around, "Go on, love. Bring it," right? Because it was just a bit of liquid. It was just 30 minutes perfume, right? So it was grand.
Could have been cyanide.
Well, then if it was 100 mils of cyanide, I was getting through with that. So, I mean, so I went through the x-ray and stuff. It was perfume, right? So fair play to him. He was like, "Look, it was expensive stuff." He was like, "Go on, take it." So I was like, happy days. He's like, "Don't make that mistake again. I won't, promise." That was great. Coming back from Manchester. Swear to good God, you'd swear I had cyanide on me. This is not 100 mils. I said, I'm well aware of that. It's just a bit of perfume. They took it off me.
Stop.
This is why I love Dublin Airport. Because they understand, look, the girl's not trying to do anything illegal. She just wants to bring her expensive perfume.
You say that to the person when they're hijacking the plane. That's why you love Dublin Airport.
No, but they understand. Look, it's Chanel perfume. Let her take it.
He says they used to make spiral staircases in castles of different sizes as a form of defence. It was easier for people to break their necks as they wouldn't know what size the next step would be, says Terry. That's very clever, Terry.
Interesting.
Is that fucking clock going to be up on Sky News for the next 22 years? What is the story with the clock on Sky News? It's the Brexit clock.
So obviously Brexit
370 or 730 days to Brexit.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Are they? I was wondering that. Like, are they going to have it up for 2 years?
No, they're not. No,
I mean, what's the
they're
point in
not.
having 700 something days up and taking it down tomorrow?
No, they'll put it up when they're talking about Brexit. That's the only time they're going to put it up.
I don't know.
Yeah. So he says, not have irrational fear of balloons. Yeah, we had that one. I hate when kids are playing with them or they burst. And my little dog is scared of foreign people. We got him in the Ashtown Pound. And when he hears foreign accents, when he passes people, he flinches in fear.
Thank you.
So
Bella does the same thing.
All right, we've got to take a quick break. Back in a second. Keep texting in your irrational fears. You can text 53544 or just send us in a random text. We don't mind.
What gets your blood boiling? Call Niall now. 1850 410 494. The Niall Boylan Show.
Classic Hits 4FM.
PJ Gallagher and Jim McCabe in the morning.
On Wednesday's show, we asked for people with the most unusual names to give us a bell. Hello, Atlantis.
Good morning. My sister's going to kill me now. Her name's Argentina.
What's your second name?
Bolog. But a lot of people, including Sister Superior at school, mispronounced it.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Is that Atlantis Bollock acting up again? I bet it is. Your sister Argentina was only half the Bollock you were. We'll talk to you Thursday morning from 6.
Wake up, happy.
With Conlon's Land Rover Kildare. They go above and beyond. ConlonsLandRover.ie on Classic Hits 4FM.
Sorry, what? Are you joking?
Like, do they even know what they're doing? This is social suicide. They're over. Finished. Did you tell Emma Jane? Oh my God, she's going to have a total bubonic meltdown. Like, she's literally going to be screaming. Oh, I'm not telling her. No. Are you for real?
Halo is now my taxi.
I cannot even Copenhagen.
Heineken Light Tag Rugby is the most fun you'll have all week, and it's back at a venue near you. Ireland's biggest tag rugby league is the perfect midweek sport. It's fun, it's mixed, it's social. Guys and girls, any age, any skill level. And you get to go to the Heineken Light at-break tag parties. Tag your workmates or friends and enter a team, or simply sign up as an individual. The Heineken Light Tag Spring League is starting soon, so sign up now at tagrugby.ie. Heineken Light Tag. Please drink responsibly. Visit drinkaware.ie.
Following on from the record-breaking success of The Perfect Murder, multi-million selling author Peter James returns to Bord Gáis Energy Theatre with Not Dead Enough, playing for 1 week only from April 18th, starring Laura Whitmore, Bill Ward and Shane Ritchie, sharing the role of D.S. Roy Grace across selected performances. Come and uncover this chilling murder mystery. Tickets are on sale now. For more, see bordgaishenergytheatre.ie.
Imagine a school which is as serious about your Leaving Certificate success as you are. One which specialises in preparing you for excellent exam results and offers comprehensive study manuals, exceptional online resources and around-the-clock academic support. Situated in Dundrum, Dublin and conveniently located on the Lewis Line, Ashfield College is home to some of Ireland's finest teachers. Phone 01 490 4050 or see ashfieldcollege.ie. Ashfield College, serious about the Leaving Certificate.
Did you know that 90% of all breast augmentations are from an A cup to just a C cup? When choosing River Medical, you can rest assured that you are in the safest, most experienced and trusted of hands. Unrivaled, unlimited aftercare and a commitment to achieving the best results for you and your body. To arrange a private and confidential consultation, call us on 01 662 9106 or visit rivermedical.ie.
River Medical. Confidence in cosmetic care.
Warning. Niall Boylan at night is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
Now, there's a mention here of earwigs.
Terrifying thing.
I know, yeah. Does anybody else like earwigs?
No.
Are we all on the same page on the earwigs?
Yeah.
Now, you said to me, I asked you during the break how they got their name, and your theory was?
Well, they like anything that's like a small dark hole, so they'll just crawl into it.
For warmth and stuff.
For warmth and stuff, yeah.
Well, they seemingly do have an attraction to the ear.
Oh.
And they say that according to conventional wisdom, earwigs have a predilection for crawling into one's ears, crawling into the ears of sleeping humans, burrowing into their brains and laying their eggs.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and their English name is derived from the Anglo-Saxon earwicker.
When they lay their eggs and the eggs hatch,
Yeah.
do they try and come out of your ears?
I don't think so.
Do you die?
I think they just hang around inside your head.
They
You
kill
don't-
your ears?
And you die, I assume. Yeah, you
I
die.
think you die.
And it appears that it's true.
Why are we not
they
getting
checked
rid
it.
of them?
Yeah,
Mm.
it's actually true.
They should be exterminated.
It's not just an old wives' tale.
That's awful scary now. That's
So this texter texts in and says he still, to this day, puts cotton buds in his ears.
going to sleep.
Yeah, to stop the earwigs getting
Oh,
in.
God.
Yeah, but hold on. Did you ever hear of it happen to anybody? Did you hear of it ever happen to anybody?
No, can't say I did.
No.
I bet you, quick Google search, died of earwig.
Did you ever get a fly in your eye?
Yes.
A fly in your mouth?
Yes.
A fly in your ear?
No.
No.
No, actually. Flies don't like earwigs. Well, they're not earwigs.
Fly wigs. Fly wigs. That's a fly wig.
It's a fly
An
earwig.
ear fly.
Some earwigs fly.
No, they
Don't
don't.
they?
No, they don't.
No,
No.
Sorry,
earwigs don't
totally
fly.
confusing that
Earwigs
one.
have little pincers.
Totally confusing that with ants.
Yeah,
Sorry.
earwigs have little
Ants fly.
pincers for eating the wax inside your ear.
Ants don't fly.
There's flying ants.
Really?
Lads, don't look at me like this. There is flying ants.
There's no flying ants.
Oh my God,
No,
there
there
is
is. I
flying
come back to
ants.
that one.
Stop.
They're bigger than normal ants. They fly around, bzzz around, and they're
And do they bite you? as well?
terrifying. They bite. Flying ants.
Flying
bite.
ants.
There is.
Yeah,
Niall,
there
you're
is.
really
I'll
telling me
back
there's
up
no
Lena.
such thing as a flying ant.
What's that deadly ant called? The fire.
Flying ant.
Well, I'm
Flying ant. I'm
I'm looking up here. Flying ants. There is actually flying ants here.
And they swarm and they go in big colonies of
Well, when you're in
lotuses.
when you're in America, particularly in Florida, and you're walking around, you have to be careful walking on the grass because there's fire ants.
That's what Aisling was talking about there. Yeah.
Fire
But they saved a woman one time.
They just sting. They don't think they kill you.
They're supposed to kill you.
I suppose enough of them got on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did save a woman one time.
Did they?
Because she was skydiving and she had no parachute and she fell on a stack of fire ants. And because they pierced her so much, the adrenaline kept her alive.
Oh, right, very good.
Yeah, thought that was interesting.
All ant species live in colonies established by fertile females or queens. Winged female ants and males typically swarm after a day of heavy rain. The women, the queens, have wings.
Yeah, didn't I have an ant fact about these before?
That's what
Something
they
like they fight to do the ant.
The queen begins as a winged ant and usually sheds her wings after mating. That's exactly.
They mate like so many times
But
a
hang
day.
on, they're spot on the money here. They're spot on the money here, okay? Because when women have babies, they just need to be put in their place and kept in their place. And that's what they're doing with the ants. She loses her wings, so she can't piss off after she has the babies. Once she has the babies, kitchen sink job.
But it's not even just kitchen. It's not even just kitchen sink job.
Joking.
All the other ants come in and have their go. That's what happens.
So she's kind of tied to the bed.
Tied to the bed, not the sink, and they're like, "Here, Mrs."
I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for like queen bees and all that.
Bee, it happens with
Yeah,
them as well.
it's like a gangbang.
Lads, I think I could.
It is. I mean, it's all these lads all having a go and one woman like.
Yeah, I confused it. It's not ants. That doesn't happen to ants. That happens to bees.
Yeah, I was thinking.
What is my animal facts today? They're just not on point.
It seems to be with a lot of insects. There seems to be this idea that the queen, the female, just keeps having babies for loads of lads.
She dies after.
And then dies.
So does an octopus.
And this is probably another fact that's not true as well.
No, this one is true. It was thought on Discovery Channel.
Which one eats her
their
husband?
young?
Eats her husband. The husband. Well, she eats her male.
Human female.
No, okay, somebody texts me in, and I'm not too sure which animal it is. There's some animal that after they have sex, and once they're pregnant, she eats the male.
Could be an octopus.
But mind you, most blokes are well used to being eaten by their missus. Yeah,
I think
I don't. You've just blamed the octopus for everything.
They're a bit
here,
of rascals, now, in fairness.
Somebody text into 53544 if you know which animal it is, and I'll check it. I'll Google it in a second.
I know for definite the octopus gets pregnant and they go into this little hole and they have loads of little octopus babies and then they die.
This is just not true.
So wait, the babies?
This is. No, the babies survive.
Aisling, don't be looking at her with such great interest. You know this is not true.
This is true.
She's making this up.
I saw it on Discovery
Are you
Channel.
actually making it up?
No, I'm not. The little octopus babies, they all squirt, out they go, right?
Yeah.
And Mammy Octopus just says, so I could look them off. And she dies.
That's really sad.
Yeah, because she basically can't. The reason why she dies is because she can't move anywhere. Because obviously other animals in the other sea creatures want to eat the little baby octopuses. So she says, no, I'm going to sacrifice myself. And she stays in here. She doesn't eat in her little hole. And she dies when the little octopuses come away. Oh, octopus is... Shouldn't say that.
Octopuses?
Octopuses. Shouldn't say that. That's
Well,
a
what
weird
is
word.
it? It's not octopi.
Octopi.
Yeah, it is octopi.
It's not octopi.
It is octopi, definitely. That makes sense.
Dean Limerick says it's the praying mantis.
Okay,
Eats her husband.
Somebody else says giraffe. A giraffe doesn't eat his
I
husband.
hear, come on.
A black widow spider, quite possibly, yes, says Neil in Galway. A praying mantis, it's quite possible it's both, actually.
Or a tarantula.
No, I don't think spiders do that.
I think spiders do actually eat their suitor.
It was.
I mean,
on
I think they
David
might have it
Attenborough.
down. They might understand it, you know. You're used. You have had
Yeah,
your
it's a
youth.
praying mantis. I'm looking at it here.
Praying mantis.
Female praying mantis. There's a video here. Female praying mantis eats the male after mating.
Can you check my octopus fact?
What
Because
a
I
bitch,
know
huh?
I'm-
She just eats them.
No,
like.
I think
Thanks
she-
very much. I've got mine. Come over here now.
I know. I think she's got it all figured out. She's like, now look, you've helped me out. I'm up the duff. Don't want to deal with your shit. Don't want to deal with you heading off the pub every
Get a
night.
bit of salt and pepper lashing out
Tell you
yourself
what,
there.
come here. It's your lucky night. Bye bye.
I'm going to eat you. And he's thinking,
like, yes, lad,
great.
let me ring the lads and tell them.
Yeah, somebody else says praying mantis. Yes, the female praying mantis consumes the male after mating.
I have an interesting fact.
And he says most arachnoids.
Sorry.
Arachnids. Sorry, Thomas.
Arachnoids.
Arachnids. That's it. Yeah, arachnids.
Seahorse
He spelled it wrong. I know it
is
is.
the only male to give birth.
Pregnant.
Yeah, sorry, yes, get pregnant and give birth.
He does, yeah.
Yeah,
And
seahorse.
do you know how many he has at a time?
So many.
So many. Somewhere usually between 500 and 1,000.
Yeah, he just kind of floats around the sea,
Squirting
popping them
them
out. And the little tadpoley things go, we're out.
They're not tadpole
They're
things.
seahorses.
They're seahorses. Tadpole things.
But I mean, they look like little. They don't look like little seahorses when they're that small. They look like little tadpoles.
Have you ever seen the kangaroo baby?
No.
And it's
The Joey?
we know it's called a joey. Thanks very much for shedding.
I
your
needed to
intelligence.
get some intelligence in here.
But you know the way it ends. It's born in the little pouch.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Where does it come out of, though?
But now, here's the thing, right? People think that it actually it develops there. It
Yeah.
doesn't really. What happens is it develops normally, as humans do, in a womb. And about 6 weeks, I think, or something like that, before it's due to be born, it crawls out like a little snake. And it goes up her belly, crawls out up the belly, and climbs into the pouch. You can't even see it. It's tiny. It's only like an inch long, like a little worm.
She doesn't even have to give birth.
No, she doesn't give birth.
She could be just
he
chilling out and he comes out.
crawls out of the vagina, right? And then
Don't use that
crawls up her belly, the vagina, crawls up her belly, and then crawls into the pouch, and then 6 weeks later, little Joey comes out.
That's deadly.
Yeah.
That
I
would
love
feel weird.
they should find a way for that to
It's
happen.
actually, you know something? I felt like I was teaching a child something there, the way I was explaining that to you.
Well, if it's any consolation, I understood it.
Okay.
Do you know what? I found another interesting animal fact today. Basically, there's this giraffe.
Jude says you're wrong, by the way. Male bullfrog give birth as well.
No, they don't. No, they don't. A seahorse is the only animal. Jude.
I'm with Helene on that one.
In your
Sorry,
face.
Jude.
Anyway, my point on the giraffe. There's a giraffe in one of the countries around the world, not exactly sure where. What are you laughing at?
Somebody says, Niall, can you tell us what's Brexit about? It's like Father Ted. What's religion all about, Ted? What's that all about?
Anyway, this giraffe, the world is watching. They did a live stream of this giraffe who was supposed to give birth.
Oh, yeah, I watched a bit of it.
Did you watch a bit of it?
No, I didn't.
Did you notice the giraffe didn't actually be born?
What happened?
Because they go like to 14 or 15 months of gestation. So everyone is watching this giraffe. So they do this live stream. It's great for the zoo or whatever it is. But every day they put on this live stream.
There's 7,000 people watching it.
Yeah. Will the giraffe be born today? And the giraffe's flying around, but like, nope.
So it still hasn't been born.
Still hasn't been born.
A week later.
But it's still in labour. Still hasn't been born though. A couple of months later. They're in gestation's labour, isn't it now?
Was going to ask you,
Gestation
what
is just
is
pregnancy.
gestation?
Just pregnancy.
Gestation.
Gestation period.
Well, then why is everyone going hulla blue about this? The news channels are covering it now. They said news channels.
It's a bit stupid because you can just go onto YouTube and watch a baby being born if you want. Why would you want to wait and see it live?
Giraffe. Because you can say I live saw that giraffe being born.
I can show you one on YouTube. You can pretend it's live.
I was at his birth. When you go visiting the zoo,
I witnessed
I witnessed that.
Gestation is the period of time.
Well, 14 months is a long period of time.
It is.
To be pregnant.
To be pregnant.
With a baby giraffe.
That probably would be.
The weight of meat eaten by spiders in Britain every year is more than the weight of all the humans in Britain, says Jerry in Dublin. Oh my.
Someone else has also said the earwig thing is a total myth, Niall. They eat vegetation, not earwax. The pincers are for defence, and there's only a handful of cases where they've ever entered ear.
I'm winding the girls up here.
Stop! I believed you, hook, line, and sinker. Thank you, texter, whoever you are.
I read that a few minutes ago on the screen texter, but I wasn't going to tell them. The pajama puss skankai is a very aggressive and not to be approached in a spar before noon or after sundown. They will attack you. The pajama puss skankai.
I know a few.
There's a couple of pajama pusses actually going to the spar near us here.
There is. Did you ever see them?
Yeah.
Or Lantern, they have house coats on.
Should be barred.
They've only moved in recently. I haven't seen them before.
No.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that fact about the spiders eating meat. I didn't know spiders ate meat.
Do you know humans eat a spider every single day?
Like 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
400 what?
They eat 400 spiders. When you're
in your lifetime.
When you're
a
asleep,
lifetime.
you see a spider. Most likely by the morning you've eaten that spider. If you can't see it anywhere.
He's inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Wheeling around.
He'd be dead.
Laying his little baby spiders.
No, he'd be dead.
Pincering you.
He won't be pincering.
Yeah, you got a cramp the next day.
He'd be
That's
dead.
how
The
Charlotte in there
hydrochloric
going.
acid in your stomach will kill him instantly.
I know. All right.
So why doesn't the
Just trying to
hydrochloric
be
acid kill
terrifying.
the tapeworms instantly?
What tapeworms?
That humans get.
They grow inside you. That's why, don't they?
Have you ever seen somebody with a tapeworm?
Oh, lads,
Watch
that's
it on television.
disgusting.
It's the scariest thing you will ever see
Yeah.
in your life. Tapeworms can be 20 foot long.
How do you get a tapeworm?
People do get tapeworms on a regular basis, right? Regular basis, people get worms, right? Okay, people can
I
get
thought
worms.
only dogs got worms.
No, humans get tapeworms. There's human worms too. Okay, so the tapeworm can grow to. It's like a big long ribbon, and he lives inside you, and he's quite happy there. And you can live for years and years with tapeworm and never even know. Okay, it just means you're eating a lot more and not getting as fat as you should because he's eating a lot of food too.
Okay.
But the problem is when you don't eat enough food, then he starts thinking, that liver looks good. That stomach wall looks good. I'll have a go on. So you have to get him out. Now this is how you get him out. And this is the truth. You'll see it on YouTube. Do you know this story?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
What you have to do is you have to starve yourself for about 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't eat anything. You don't drink anything for about 24 hours. And then you get a bit of food and put it near your mouth. And it'll come up for the food. Or they have got it out through the other end. They put it close to your arse.
I prefer it out the bum now.
Would you?
Then it opens.
Now, and then they have to grab it. Okay, but when they grab it, they have to keep pulling it, and it has little hook things that hook on. And if they pull it and he breaks, you're back to square one.
He grows again, doesn't he?
Even if one segment of him breaks off, you're back to square one.
He grows a head again, doesn't he? In there.
Yeah.
How do you get a tapeworm?
For a lot of Asian countries, you can end up with them, can't you?
Yeah,
From
but
a
not so
bee.
much in Ireland. It's not that common in Ireland. But people have got them in Ireland, but it's not that common.
That is disgusting. That's another fear now.
Have you now got a fear of tapeworms?
I have a fear of everything in general. Now
They get under,
but then it's
if
just another
dirt,
one.
like, they get under your nails, and then you bite your nail or something, and then all of a sudden, worm.
No, it's not that. You're
Dog
not
poo,
you're not gonna
dog
get
poo. You
tapeworm.
can get worms from dog poo.
You're not
No,
gonna
I'm
get
not
You
gonna
can
go
get
and touch
liverworms.
dog poo.
Liverworms from dog. Liverworms are very dangerous, actually.
Yeah,
They affect your lungs, don't they?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Ironically, they're called liverworms, but they affect your lungs. A fully grown man found inside a python snake, says Dermot.
Oh, yeah. That was on the Daily Mail.
Today?
No, not yesterday. I think it was the day before. They were like, basically these people were in the jungle and then they saw this big python going around the ground and they were like, look what's in his belly. That looks like our mate's boots. So then they went and they killed this python and they opened, it was a boa constrictor because they, crush their prey and then they eat them whole and they cut it open and then they were like, that's our friend. Because we recognised his boots.
Ah, bless.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Somebody says knicker pubes are called spider legs.
Well, that's vile. On all.
They do look a bit like spider legs, particularly if they're white knickers. If they're white knickers and you can really see them. They do look like spider legs.
It's something shiny.
Quite long
knickers,
spider
isn't
legs. There is with knickers, yeah.
Knickers.
It's not as bad as panties.
Don't say that word.
No, it's a horrible
I don't
word.
like that word.
It's a vile word, isn't it? There's something perverted about the
It
word.
is. You just think of
It's like a dirty pervert.
old man being like, your
Gives like
panties.
it's a panties.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Gives
can't
like
even
it's a
deal.
panties.
Not dealing with that.
All right, so we got to go to an Niall Boylan extra.
We do indeed.
And what have we got?
It's an Niall Boylan extra.
Fair play to you.
Have you got an opinion? What's on your mind? Call 1850 410 494. Niall Boylan. Real Talk Radio.
Classic Hits 4FM.
Hi, it's Gareth O'Callaghan here. Fancy a breakaway with the family this Easter at the Charleville Park Hotel? Well, I've lots of breaks to give away. The winner gets a complimentary overnight stay for 2 adults and 2 children, full Irish breakfast, evening meal and full use of the hotel's leisure club. And there's more. Just answer this question. In which county is the Charleville Park Hotel? Text your answer right now to 53544.
Classic Hits. 4FM.
Yes, this is Professor Reginald, guinea pig scientist, recording updated report on our findings in the field of human cleverness. Observations and stupidity first. A sharp increase in shall I do it myself rate, resulting in 5 burst pipes and a bruised toe. Meanwhile, the cleverer subjects continue to choose Energia, saving 15% off dual fuel and getting €150 cash back. Fierce clever those ones.
Switch to energia.ie.
Savings based on our standard unit rates. Terms and conditions apply. See energia.ie.
Following on from the record-breaking success of The Perfect Murder, multi-million selling author Peter James returns to Bord Gáis Energy Theatre with Not Dead Enough, playing for 1 week only from April 18th, starring Laura Whitney.